And in previous session we had discussed about different types of ship, general overview of the ships, what type of cargo they carry, how was the construction, so that we discussed. Now moving ahead with the important part, that is the survey, certification and registration. Just hold on for a moment, I will start sharing my screen.
सर लास्ट लेक्चर हमारा बीच में ही वो कुछ नेटवर्क इशू की वजह से डिस्टर्ब हो गया।
So we had discussed types of ships at that during that time. So
बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस भी थे जो वो अटेंड नहीं हो पाए थे, जैसे कील, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था कि कील क्लियरेंस क्या होता है।
what? कील
क्लियरेंस था ना सर, आपने एक वर्ड यूज किया था कील।
कील इज द बेस ऑफ अ शिप, बेस प्लेट, जो नीचे का प्लेट रहता है, okay, that is what is the keel, and on top of that the plate starts getting welded and the ship takes its actual shape. Okay, so the very first thing in ship construction which is laid down, that is what is keel, KEEL. Okay, and now comes the important part of our entire session. Okay, that is general description. Anyways, in naval architecture, that is what is a ship construction is a total different subject, and if we start going deep into that, we will not able to cover our main core syllabus. Okay, so just remember, keel is the very first part of a ship construction, okay, which is laid down below, okay, base जिसको बोल सकते हैं हम लोग, and above which the construction takes place to form the shape of a ship. That is what is a keel.
ड्राफ्ट रिस्ट्रिक्शन और कील क्लियरेंस ये बोथ सेम है, या फिर मतलब ड्राफ्ट रिस्ट्रिक्शन अलग हो सकता है और कील क्लियरेंस टू अराइव द वेसल इन पोर्ट वो अलग हो
Draft
सकता है?
restriction is totally different thing. Draft is the important for the bulk carrier, okay, where you determine on the draft reading, you determine how much is the cargo quantity being carried on board. Okay, so for example, if I say a ship is having 10-meter draft, so what do you understand by that? Draft means a portion of a ship which is down below water level. Understood? Which means, in other words, I would say for a ship having 10-meter draft, okay, so it needs to have a depth more than 10 meters. Correct or not?
Correct.
Suppose if I have a 9 meters of depth, so can I take the ship with the 10-meter drafts inside? No. Okay, so if the depth itself is at 9 meter, so I will need to have a draft restriction placed at somewhere around 8 meters, 1 meter clearance. Some ports will take half a meter clearance, depends on that. On over top of that, each and every shipping company have their under keel clearance policy. So let's not go deep into that. That is core sailors subject. Okay, so I don't want to go deep in that. I don't think that a lot of people over here from the sailing background. Okay, so let's understand the trade. We are into the commercial. What we are learning is the commercial part of a ship. Correct? You're not going to sail on the ship. That is the sailor parts. But just to have an overview, what do you understand by draft? Draft is the portion below the water level. Okay, so that is what is a draft. Now let's come to the ship survey and certification. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now see, when we take a car, when you take a bike or something, okay, it has got a particular number, right? If we are in a Maharashtra state, okay, that too in a Mumbai region, okay, Tardev region, so you will have a Maharashtra which is MH 01 is your particular what you say your traffic registration office. Okay, that code. Then you have your car code, which is particular and dedicated for your own car. Okay, so what you are doing with that, you are registering your vessel under the government, correct or not? Same like that, if a ship needs to trade, okay, all over the world, so definitely anyone will ask is the registry of a ship. Where is the ship registered? That is what is an important question. Very first thing. Okay, and that ship registration, which we are going to look about, okay, that we called it as, now let's say consider uh, flag state. We called it as a flag state. For example, I am a ship owner. Let's consider I am a ship owner. I am owning a ship. Okay, and I want to register in India itself, that too within a Mumbai or something. Okay, I go to the DG shipping office and I say ki, I give the description. This is my ship. This is what is her tonnage. All the ship particulars are given. Okay, I pay a certain fees, what is required for the registration. Okay, and I go to the DG shipping and tell them I wish to register my ship under the Indian flag. Okay, so have you heard about IRS, Indian Registry of Shipping, IRS? Okay, so if not, there are the various registry. There is a Panama flag registry, there is a Singapore, there is a Hong Kong registry, lot of registries in the world, Marshall Island. Like that, Indian Registry of Shipping, IRS, in India, that deals with the registration of a ship. So once I have registered my ship, so what I am doing, I am flying the Indian flag. Okay, I'm flying the Indian flag. We called it as a ensign flag. And this particular flag is normally hoisted from sunrise to sunset at the back part of the ship, or we called it as a typical term is a stern. So extreme aftermost part. Okay, we hoist the flag. Okay, sunrise to sunset, and that is our registry flag. Okay, country flag. In other words, if I have registered my ship under IRS, Indian Registry of Shipping, whatever happens to my ship, whatever, okay, if I am trading, suppose if there is any issue, something, who is responsible? So how the proceedings under the court of law will take place, that would be governed by the laws laid out by the Indian flag state. Understand now? What do you understand by flag state, and what is the importance of registering the ship? Uh, is everyone with me now till now?
Yeah.
Okay. So see, very first line, as you can see, flag state of a merchant vessel is a jurisdiction under whose law the vessel is registered or licensed and is deemed the nationality of a vessel. So if I'm flying the Indian flag, my nationality of my vessel would be India. Okay. If I'm flying the Singaporean flag, if my ship registered under Singapore flag, okay, the nationality of a ship would be Singapore. Understood? And this flag state has got the overall responsibility, okay, to ensure the certifications and everything. Okay, so first thing is a certificate of registry. After that, there are n numbers of certificates which are mandatory for a vessel to trade all over the world. Okay, and it's a responsibility of the flag state to issue those certificates. Okay, अभी ऐसा है क्या कि you go to the DG shipping, you say, tell them you take a a second hand ship, and if I go to the DG shipping ki, sir, I wish to trade my vessel, I am the owner, okay, please please issue me the all necessary certificate. So do you think that the flag state is going to issue me the certificate just like that? I'll say, okay, whatever the fees are there, I will pay it to you. You just issue me the certificate. You think that will happen?
No.
No, sir.
Definitely not. Okay. The surveyors from the flag, they will attend your vessel. They will see the condition of a vessel. They will carry out the proper assessment. They will check whether this particular ship is fit for trading. It's fit for sailing. Is it fit her cargo compartment or the tank? Are they fit for carrying a particular cargo? They will see everything. After that particular assessment and particular survey, they will issue you the certificate. Understand, gentlemen? So the certificates, the main governing body for issuing certificate would be the flag state. Clear on that?
Flag state is a governing body or
It's
state of
all, it's the governing body basically. Now see, we are carrying, it is just like that. As an Indian, we are carrying Indian passport. So if something happens, even outside the India or something, okay, if something happens, so what Indian government would say, या ये डिफॉल्टर है, हमारे कंट्री का है, भागा हुआ है, just return that person to us. Okay, the India can say that. And whatever jurisdictions and law जो भी proceedings करना रहेगा, that they will carry out as per the rules, our constitution, as per Indian constitution, right? Understood or not? So it is something like that. The ship is not designed to trade only within India. She goes all over the world. If something happens, who is responsible? Obviously it's a flag state. Understand? So basically you can say it's a governing body. Okay, see, that's why this word is used, jurisdiction under whose law. Okay, that's an important word. Clear on that? What is the flag state? Okay, let's move ahead now. Certificate of registry, I just mentioned there are different registries like Denmark, Norway, France, Hong Kong, Singapore, China. Okay, now there is something called as a flag of convenience, gentlemen. Well, now we see what is a flag state. Okay, and the flag state is the main governing body, and the whatever flag we are flying, that is what are the rules for our ships. The ship will be governed by those rules. Now there is something called as a flag of convenience, gentlemen. Okay, so now what is this? Now see over here, I just read out the definition. The country under whose registration such vessel operate is referred to as a flag state, where the practice of registering the ship to state different than that of the ship owner is known as a flag of convenience, or FOC. It is also called as an open registration. What do you understand by that? Now let's consider I'm an Indian owner. I have bought a ship, and I see to register flag within Indian flag, there are a lot of restrictions. Okay, there are a lot of taxes, there are a lot of dues, okay, which I have to pay as an owner, and which I'm not willing to do. Okay, it is as simple as that. Everyone looks about money. Okay, if by registering my vessel under Indian flag, if I need to pay the extra taxes, extra dues to the government, my profit margin will reduce down, isn't it? So what I see, which is a country which would be beneficial for me to register my vessel under that flag state. Okay, so there are a lot of registry like that. Okay, there is a Panama registry, Liberia registry, Cyprus registry, and so on, Marshall Island, and so on. So what I need to see, I am Indian owner. Okay, I am owning the ship, but I wish to register my ship under a different flag. Okay, so let's consider I wish to register my ship under the Liberian flag. So I go to this Liberian registry. Okay, they said
Sir,
ki
if I can ask one thing, sir,
yes, sure.
what will be the benefit of an Indian owner to register his ship as a Liberian one? What benefits he will be getting?
That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to, I don't wish to pay the extra taxes. Now another regime, see, like Indian flag state that if your vessel is registered under the Indian flag, then they recommend, in fact it's a mandatory, that the sailors on my ship should be from the India itself, not from anywhere else. Okay, if I see as a owner, if I find, you know, Indian crews are not doing better, okay, I can hire the Filipino crew or something. Okay, so it gives the flexibility to me. So if I go to the Liberia will say, sir, it's not mandatory for you to, you know, give the employment only to the Indian seafarer. You can give to anyone. So it gives me a flexibility to, you know, put a person or the sailor from the different nationality on my ship. This is one thing. Next thing is the various tax dues and regime. And mind you, gentlemen, within India, within Indian flag state, it is very difficult. Okay, very difficult, and the taxes are very high. Okay, they are not at all in a favor of the owners. That's why you will find lot of owners, they are reluctant to register their ship within India. Okay, so this is one thing. So this is a reason why we would why I would opt for the flag of convenience. So flag of convenience means the owner is not from that particular country. Okay, as just as I gave you the example of Liberia. Somebody is speaking. Can you mute your mic, please? There is a lot of disturbance. I don't know from where. Okay, so typically flag of excuse me. Typically flag of convenience means I'm not from that particular country, and I wish to register my ship within that particular flag. I go to Liberia, so they tell me, sir, what you need to have is, you know, you need to have your office in my country. So to register under that particular flag of convenience, I will open one office within Liberia and tell, okay, my registered office is this. So because it's a requirement for them to register the ship, the owner must have the registered office in my particular country. So if I wish to register in Liberia, first I will go to the Liberia, I will open the office, I will opt for that particular flag. So the reason could be different. To give the flexibility in terms of operation and manning. Manning, I told you, I can employ the sailors from the different nationality. So this flexibility I have. Next is to avoid regulation or to avoid inspection and scrutiny by the owner's country. Normally, the nationality and the flag of the ship determines the taxing jurisdiction. I said the main important thing is this taxing part. Next is your manning. Okay, and the example are Cyprus, Panama, Liberia, etc. Understand? So if I
Yes.
register my ship in flag of convenience, okay, so all the laws, all the jurisdiction will be governed by these particular flags. So it would be either Cyprus, Panama, Liberian, whatever it is.
Sir, if I can ask one thing.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, Manning is
Deployment. Yeah.
Oh, sir, I would like to ask into the picture in flag state.
Let's first entire chapter about the classification society. So let's talk about the flag first. Okay. Now, gentlemen, flag state inspection is very important. As I said, all your rules, everything will be governed by the flag state, and they are the one major governing authority bodies. Okay, so it's a mandatory for a ship to undergo flag state inspection at least once in a year. So annually, one inspection you can expect from the flag state, and it's a mandatory one. Okay, and what would be the definitely first is the quality shipping objective. The ship registered under the particular flag should be operating in a good condition. ऐसा नहीं है कि there is a accident or something and it is difficult for sale. No one knows that when. So first is to support the quality shipping objective. Okay, next is they enforce the high standard compliance with international and national rules. International means definitely your IMO requirement, SOLAS requirement, safety of life at sea, under which the recommendation the ships are being constructed. Okay, so this is another important thing. Compliance with actual condition of a ship. Okay, and they conform to the certificate they carry. I said some time back that flag state to issue the mandatory certificate. Understand?
Sir,
The scope.
if may
Yeah.
I ask, compliance with the international rules, that is IMO, and national rules where the ship will be sailing or the flag state?
The ship will be sailing. For example, see, there are IMO has got a very generic standards of rule. Okay. Okay, there might be the particular requirement of a particular country. Say for example, the European colony, European Union. Okay, so they said that if a ship wish to sail within European waters, then the ship must consume oil. The whatever oil we are burning for the running the vessel, they say that the requirement is the sulfur emission should not be more than 0.1%. So that is their local requirement. India is not saying that. You understand? So local regulations are that is depending on a particular country and which the ships needs to carry. You 2-3 files of the certificates which the ship carry. So for example, if I'm going in, if I wish to trade entire all over the world, so I need to see for two things. First, I am complying with the generic inter requirement, which is IMO. Next is national rules. Okay, so says that you go into a particular country, you need to follow the rules. Okay, simple is that. People has got a very the habit. इंडिया में सब कुछ चलता है, इधर रास्ते पे थूक के जाओ तो भी चलता है, बट द go the UK, they don't spit anywhere. It's
So for just an example, say required to include Indian seafarers in an Indian coast, and India has a rule that you have to, when your vessel is sailing in India. So
exactly. So
at that point of time, national rules will be on top of the flag state or flag state rules.
See, flag state as a governing body, it doesn't mean that they will deviate from the international rule. Okay, every flag state has to comply with the international rules which are laid down by the IMO, which are very generic in nature. Above, on top of that, it's that particular flag requirement. Okay, for example, Indian flag, they said that you need to employ the certain amount of sailor from the Indian nationality only. Understand? So it is their requirement. So it is their national flag state requirement. That is a flag state requirement. Don't confuse with the national rules. National rules is just now, as I said, if you are going into the Turkey or any European port, Europe said that European country says that if you wish to come into our territory, you need to follow our rules. For example, change over to the very low sulfur fuel oil, VLSFO. Okay, so that's the thing. Now the international rule is the vessel should burn the heavy fuel oil which has got a sulfur content of 0.5%. Okay.
Sir, one thing, as you say, the person might have to change, as you said,
Yes.
the VLSFO point. So who will bear the cost? The owner or the charterer in that case, in the other territory the ship has reached?
Now see this particular thing. Now tell me, whenever there is within India now in this COVID situation, say the oil which we eat, a normal household, that cost that has gone high, correct or not? You must have seen if you buy the product for your household, खाने का तेल जो है उसका दाम बढ़ा या नहीं बढ़ा?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ultimately, on whose pocket the entire trouble is coming to, gentlemen?
Ultimate consumer.
Ultimate consumer, exactly. Okay, so depending upon now who will pay the cost, charter party terms and conditions. Okay, what your charter party says about that. Ultimately, you think that the charters are that they are paying to the consumer, if you talk in that manner. But yes, if you say specifically who will pay the cost for that VLSFO, then these rules are governed by your charter party. Whenever there is a the fixtures concluded, that time there is a charter party. What?
Yes, yes, yes.
Clear on that?
Yes, yes.
This is regarding your requirement of lectures. So safety management and security system, they will look for ensure that the ship's crew can effectively coordinate their activities in emergency. Okay, so that's a generic this one. Okay, let's move ahead. Role of flag state, as I said, there again important thing is to issue the certificate, and there are a lot of certificate, gentlemen, out of which, see, some are mentioned over here. Safety management certificate, SMC, okay, and that is governed by International Safety Management Code, ISM code. There is something called as an ISM code. Gentlemen, I cannot explain you each and every code because there are maybe 20 codes. There is a grain code, there is a IMDG code, okay, then there are ISM code. Now this is important, okay. Now ISM code that defines key how should be the shipping company, what should owner should do for the seafarer and all those things, how should be the documentation maintained, okay. If I tell you in easy word, what is ISM, International Safety Management, means be documented, okay. कल को आके मुझे कोई इंस्पेक्टर या फिर सर्वेयर पूछता है, सपोज इफ आई एम अ कैप्टन ऑफ अ वेसल एंड दे से कि कैप्टन शो मी द एविडेंस you know that you have, let's take the same example, you have changed over to the from high sulfur to low sulfur fuel oil, show me the evidence. तो ऐसा बोल के नहीं चलेगा, सर when I went into the European water I changed over, you trust me, you believe me, I have changed over. They said, yeah boss, trust boss, don't tell me all this thing, show me the documentation part, show me where you have recorded it. So in other words, ISM is something, whatever seafarer or the company does, that should be documented for the verification purpose. That is what is the ISM. Understand, gentlemen? So the seafarers, when sailing on board, they have to comply with the company rules and regulations. So they need to show how did they comply if the surveyor or the inspector asked. So excuse me. So that is what is the ISM code. And if the ship is complying with this ISM code, they will go ahead and issue you the safety management certificate, SMC. Okay. And the flag state is responsible to cooperate with other authorities or the flag state to carry out investigation in case of accident in which casualty or pollution is involved. As I said, anything happens to the ship anywhere in the world. Okay. So whatever is the proceedings are there, government proceeding, court of law, so that will be governed by the flag state, gentlemen. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead.
So I got a small doubt.
Yeah, please.
Now, for example, we got a bunker from charterer, and due to some restrictions, time limit and all, we did not do the testing of the bunker oil. And in case we want to change over the oil, then what will be the procedure?
See, this is way out of syllabus question, but I will answer this question. See, it is a mandatory. I would not say mandatory. It depends on the company, okay, with which you are selling with. But most of 99% of the companies in the world, what they do is whenever the bunkering takes place, we take a sample and we send it to the laboratory for the testing purpose. So ideally, do not get the certificate result, okay, stating how is this particular bunker fuel, what are its cat fines percentage, what is the sulfur percentage, what is is it engine or not, all those things I'll see, I will, and the company will give me the, you can go ahead changing over.
Okay.
Understood. So this is what is a normal procedure. So it depends on the company to company what they tell you.
Okay.
Normally 99% of the time they tell you, unless and until you do not get the laboratory test report, captain, please do not use this particular bunker in the engine.
Okay. Okay. So this should be also coming under an SMC, right? And the safety management. This has to be documented and shown to the.
Yes. So logbook entries are made whenever you are changing oil from HFO to normal HFO to VLSFO.
Okay.
So documented means what? Whatever I am doing, I am recording into the logbook. So it's your oil record book, deck logbook, engine logbook, whatever is that. You need to show that you have done it, and this is what is documented. So that is a part of ISM again.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Now,
sir, if
yeah.
this SMC is issued for a specific, it is renewed after some time. Might be it's.
Now, see, there is something called as a harmonized survey system and certification, HSSC we called it as. Okay. And whenever very first time, okay, and I need to register. So the first certificates, all the certificates which are given are the interim, INTERIM, interim certificate, and these are valid for the 3 months period normally, generally. Okay. So once I issue these interim certificate, the surveyor from the flag or the issuing authority, they will come on board and they will see within this 3 months whether the ship has complied with these international regulation, for example, international safety management code. Are they following it? Okay. If I found that they are following it, I will issue the full term certificate. Okay. So interim certificate is normally given for 3 months, sometimes maybe 6 months, but very rarely. Normally it's a 3 months, and then full term certificate is being issued. Okay. So, and that full term certificate is issued for 5 years. अनदर थिंग इज दैट इट्स नॉट दैट कि 5 साल तक मैंने सर्टिफिकेट दे दिया तो मैं बीच में आके सर्वे नहीं करूंगा, चेक नहीं करूंगा. Okay, so after 2.5 years there is something called as an intermediate survey which will take place, and normally that's happen not exceeding 36 months. Okay, 2.5 year or 36 means 3 years. So dry dock to dry dock, in other words dry dock to dry dock. Okay, so these intermediate surveys takes place and that is being endorsed. अगर आप देखोगे certificate पे, so there are 5 entries are given, plus there is annual endorsement of this certificate. You need to send to the flag state. Flag state will ask the vessel ki are you complying, we have to show the records, and they will endorse the surveyor from the flag state. They will come, or the class are going to come to class, and I will tell you what is the importance of class. But just remember, there is an annual endorsement of the certificate, normally issued for 5 years, and there is an intermediate survey after 2.5 years. Okay, or not exceeding 36 months, and these intermediate surveys are dry dock to dry dock. And after the completion of 5 years, the survey which takes place, that will be called as a renewal survey. Understood? Okay, gentlemen, so this is a generic information about the certification part. Okay, clear on that?
Sir, the previous guy would ask the question about bunker one. So in that case, if suppose like in this COVID situation, if suppose the samples have not reached the testing laboratory, so at that point of time, they can also check the MSDS, the material safety sheet that the bunker has given, and they can use that fuel, right?
See, if you don't have the fuel to burn, you have to burn that fuel. If you don't have a sufficient reserve, okay, and if the test report are not available, then it's a mandatory that you should inform to the company. This is what, see, MSDS is not the base for using the fuel. MSDS to kya hai? What is MSDS? MSDS is just a kind of a receipt which you get after bunkering. Correct or not? They will tell you कि ये इतना इतना है, ये इतना इतना है. So do you just blindly believe? अगर ऐसा रहता MSDS पे ही बिलीव करना रहता तो no one would have sent the testing sample to the laboratory.
No, sir, that they'll send it for the testing. But suppose the current situation, like the COVID situation, where the parcels are not reaching on time, where every country has their own restrictions. And in that case, the parcel might reach late, and the time might come to consumption. So they
Yes.
can take the MSDS as a consideration for time being, and they can see whatever the limits are there, and then they can allow for time being until the test results come.
No, MSDS would not be the base. Again, I am repeating, MSDS is not the base at all. Okay, if the time has come to consume the fuel oil, the master and the chief engineer has to report that this is a condition and I need to consume this fuel oil. So company will come back saying, and this has happened quite normal, okay, as during this COVID scenario. So company say, ek kaam karo, you carry out the risk assessment. They will tell the ship staff to carry out risk assessment. If the bunker is not of the specified quality, then what should you go? Then they will tell you, okay, change over slowly, 20-80% ratio rakho, itna rakho, utna rakho, and you see the outcome. You see the engine performance for 1 day, for 2 days. This is what they will say. They will check the performance, and if they found it good, fine enough. Otherwise, if the fuel is not of specified quality, then they will go back to these bunker supplier and the chartered, and they will claim for it कि आपका जो ये है performance is not good for the engine. Stop. Ship has to run. That will come under claim.
Sir, ये bunker is checked every
Bunker is being tested
for quality.
by,
For quality.
see, आपको कोई भी दूध वाला बोलेगा मैंने 100% शुद्ध दूध दे दिया है, तो इट इज योर इंटरेस्ट ना, वेदर टू चेक फॉर कितना दूध है, कितना पानी मिला है या क्या किया है. सो द ओनर्स नॉर्मली डू द टेस्टिंग फॉर देयर ओन रिक्वायरमेंट. बंकर सप्लायर तो कुछ भी बोल देगा कि मेरा देखो MSDS में दिया हुआ है, आई एम मीटिंग दिस स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट. Okay, gentlemen, so this is
Yes.
what it, testing is not compulsory, it is your own interest, you want to test it. अगर आपको आपके इंजन को प्रोटेक्टेड रखना है तो विल यू नॉट टेस्ट इट. बंकर क्या है, सप्लायर देके चला जाएगा दैट पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड के लिए, बट यू एज अ ओनर यू नीड टू रन योर शिप फॉर 20 years ना.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay, gentlemen, let's move ahead. That is not much relevant to our syllabus, just off the record it was. Okay. Next is called as a port state control, PSC. Okay, and you can see the IMO resolution alpha 30. So in the Indian only she will go to US, she will go to Indonesia, all over the world she will go, correct? And you think that, and the owners will run their vessel depending upon the cargo availability, correct or not? There is a disturbance. Please check your mic, gentlemen. Put it on mute. Getting the cargo, I will run my ship, right? Or the charters or the owners. So do you think that every year, as I said, the requirement of the flag state inspection is every once in a year, correct? So you think that within an year, the ship will definitely come back to India? Is it mandatory?
No, sir. No, sir.
Definitely not. Okay. Now my ship is going all around the globe. So definitely those countries, they are more concerned about the safety of their marine environment or not. Okay. So that is called as a port state. Okay. So it's an international agreed regime for the inspection of a foreign ship in national port. Okay. For example, let's consider a ship which is flying Singaporean flag. She is coming to Mumbai. Okay. So the Indian government, the DG Shipping and the flag state of Mumbai, flag state of India, they have got a full authority. Correct. They will see the same thing: safety of a life on board. Okay, safety of a ship and safety of an environment. These three are the basic thing which any the institution will check for.
Sir, regime meaning, sir, regime meaning of regime.
International agreed regime. Regime means, see, like in the case of a port state, okay, there are total 9 MOUs, memorandum of understanding. So sare countries, and they have come to an international regime where they have agreed कि चलो बॉस कि कोई भी शिप किसी भी कंट्री में आएगा ना तो हम लोग चेक कर सकते हैं फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर दिस थिंग. अदरवाइज ये अगर रिजाइम नहीं रहेगा, इफ दैट मेमोरेंडम ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग विद इन अ कंट्रीज वुड नॉट बी देयर, तो यू कैन स्ट्रेट अवे से ये मेरा, कैन यू?
Yes.
Okay, but since this PSC under international agreed regime by the all over countries in the world, since they have decided, you cannot say that you cannot inspect my ship. Okay, they are at full liberty to come on board and check for the 3 things. Again, I am repeating, 3 things are the safety of life on board, safety of a ship, and safety of the environment. These 3 things they will check for. Okay, so that is what is a internationally agreed regime. Okay, and they will check for the SOLAS, MARPOL, STCW, and MLC. Say, SOLAS is safety of life at sea. Okay, MARPOL is a pollution prevention regulations. Okay, STCW is a standard for the seafarer which has been made, and MLC is Maritime Labor Convention. मतलब seafarers को जहाज पे the minimum requirement जो है वो मिल रही है नहीं, how is the living standard, AC चल रहा है या नहीं, पीने के लिए पानी मिल रहा है या नहीं. So all these things, that is what is a MLC. STCW is the manning standard. Okay, or the captain के पास the required certificate of competency is there or not. AB who's steering the ship, that has got a mandatory certificate or not. So that is what is a STCW. SOLAS is the safety of the, in general, safety of a ship. Okay, MARPOL is a pollution prevention. Okay, so it provides a safety net that to catch a substandard ship. So basically वो क्या करते हैं, as I said, a Singaporean flag vessel coming to port of Mumbai, when these flag state surveyors will board, they will be called as a PSC, Port State Control. Okay, PSC, Port State Control, and they will look for this thing. Okay, तो इसमें होता क्या है, अगर पोर्ट स्टेट कंट्रोल नहीं रहता, फॉर एग्जांपल पोर्ट स्टेट कंट्रोल इज नॉट इन द एग्जिस्टेंस, तो शिप ओनर क्या बोलता, यार मेरा तो फ्लैग स्टेट अभी हो चुका है, एनुअल इंस्पेक्शन, लेट्स बी रिलैक्स फॉर द नेक्स्ट 1 ईयर या फिर नेक्स्ट 3 इयर्स. मेरा शिप तो आने वाला नहीं है 1 साल में इंडिया में, इट इज ट्रेडिंग आउटसाइड ओनली, देखा जाएगा 4 साल के बाद, व्हाटएवर हैज टू बी डन आई विल सी. ऐसा करके ओनर तो बाईपास कर देता था ऑल द सेफ्टी मैटर्स. करेक्ट और नॉट? बट पीएससी आ गया तो क्या हो गया, पीएससी बोलता है नो, एट एनी गिवन टाइम द शिप हैज टू बी इन अ गुड कंडीशन. तो फिर ओनर गैस पे रहता है, नो नो नो, फॉर द मेंटेनेंस ऑफ अ शिप आई नीड टू सप्लाई दिस स्पेयर्स टू द वेसल, आई नीड टू लुक आफ्टर ऑल दिस रिक्वायरमेंट, बिकॉज somebody is watching. So who is watching? Port State Control. Okay, so why PSC inspection, gentlemen? Although the responsibility lies with the flag state, but since flag state cannot come every time, that's why this port state control is there. Okay, this provides a safety net to catch up substandard ship. तो पीएससी का काम यही है कि ये देखना कि सबस्टैंडर्ड शिप कौन सा है, क्योंकि कल को जाके सपोज if any accident happens, a particular thing happens, okay, इंडिया में आके सपोज 20 साल पुराना शिप रहेगा, यहाँ पे आके उसका टैंक लीक हो गया, एंड सपोज देयर इज अ ऑयल स्पिल, हु इज अल्टीमेटली गोइंग टू सफर? इट्स एन इंडिया, राइट? क्योंकि हमारे मुंबई के वाटर में और द इंडियन वाटर्स में देयर इज अ पोल्यूशन व्हिच हैज टेकन प्लेस. So the marine environment within these region is going to get affected, right? The fish will get affected, marine environment will get affected, people will not be able to eat the fish. So all these impacts are there. So ultimate sufferer is a local people over there. So that's why Port State said, if you are coming to our country, we will inspect your ship and we will look for the substandardization. Okay, gentlemen. So this is what is a PSC. Let's move ahead. I was talking about the memorandum of understanding. 9 PSC MOUs are there in the world. Okay. So there is a Paris MOU, Tokyo MOU, Caribbean MOU, Black Sea MOU, Mediterranean, Indian Ocean, Riyadh, Akudo de Vina del Mar, and Abuja MOU. And if you see these MOUs, see like can you see that there is a highlighted region over here? Like Tokyo MOU, you can see yellow color mark. So entire China, okay, China, Indonesia, Singapore, Australia, that is in yellow zone. That is a Tokyo MOU. Now so what do you understand by this? Let's consider I have loaded cargo in Australia, so that is under Tokyo MOU, under Port Headland. and for discharging the cargo I am going to the China. So again, China is in which MOU, gentlemen? Tokyo MOU. तो यहाँ का ये जो PSC इंस्पेक्टर है, he will issue the report, okay, and he will upload it on the system. So when my ship is going to the China, the Chinese authorities, Chinese port state already knows that यहाँ पे ऑस्ट्रेलिया में already port state inspection हुआ है जहाज का, everything is fine. Suppose deficiency मिला रहेगा, so these Chinese PSC will can come and they will ask for अच्छा last port state inspection report दिखाओ. So have you closed out that deficiency? That is what is required. Okay. अगर सब कुछ ठीक रहेगा तो Chinese port state will say no, not required यार, within Tokyo MOU under port headland already PSC inspection हुआ है. Okay. Now let's consider अभी यहाँ पे China में there is a PSC inspection takes place, all good, and now my ship is coming to India. Okay. Now India is within under Indian Ocean MOU. Can you see that, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
So it is very much possible that when these MOUs are changed, तो उस टाइम भी पोर्ट स्टेट इंस्पेक्शन हो सकता है. तो अगर लास्ट पोर्ट चाइना में हुआ है मेरा PSC इंस्पेक्शन, तो इंडिया में भी आके हो सकता है. Understood? So basically the ship staff needs to ensure that the ship is good in all respect.
Sir, what about the countries in white?
Countries in white, one second. That are the landlocked countries, gentlemen. So landlocked countries में port state नहीं हो सकता है ना?
सर MOU मतलब MOU
Memorandum of Understanding. I just discussed कि अभी देखा टोक्यो MOU में there was a Australia, Indonesia, Singapore, China. तो ये सब कंट्रीज ने आके बोला कि we agreed and signed this particular MOU, Memorandum of Understanding.
Sir, can you please go to the previous slide once? Sir,
Sorry.
Pakistan has got coastline, no?
Sorry?
Pakistan has got coastal line, no?
Pakistan has got coastline, but since they have not highlighted, they may not be following. It means that they have not signed a particular MOU.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So the country, if they have not signed, so here you can see the part of Russia that is also a white, that is landlocked countries. So it depends कि country ने MOU sign किया हुआ है या नहीं किया हुआ है. Understood?
Okay, sir.
सर एक मतलब अगर दो कंट्रीज इन अ सेम MOU हो, मतलब फिर वो दोबारा इंस्पेक्शन नहीं करेंगे शिप का, ऐसा?
Depends. वो बोल सकते हैं ठीक है आपने किया ना, आपको ठीक लगा ना, okay, that's fine. Unless and until कि वहाँ पे there were lot of observation and NCs were given, और फिर अगर ऐसा रहेगा and if there is a specific time given कि चलो 10 दिन में rectify करो या फिर next port आने से rectify करो पहले, then yes, within same MOU also the country can go for the PSC inspection. Understood?
Okay.
So what about the agreement between different MOUs?
See, agreement part that they will see, any MOU is based on three basic things. First is safety of person on board, okay, safety of a ship, safety of the environment. So based on these three things, they will consider कि they will decide कि substandard ship कब कहा जाएगा, which is a substandard ship. For example, see, vessel has got a fire pump on board. Requirement, कल को जाके कुछ फायर हो जाता है तो फायर पंप चाहिए जहाज पे, correct or not? Okay, but it is a mandatory requirement under SOLAS कि जहाज पे there should be an emergency fire pump as well, so that कल को जाके जो मेन फायर एंड GS पंप है उसको जाके कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है तो आपका इमरजेंसी फायर पंप should be under action if something goes wrong. So emergency fire pump is the mandatory requirement. So they come and decide कि whatever are the emergency equipment, You called it as an emergency fire pump. You talk about lifeboat, rescue boat. These are again emergency items. Okay. Then your emergency generator, if something goes wrong. So these emergency item, they will come together and say ki anything wrong with this emergency item, vessel will be detained. What is detained? Vessel will not able to sail furthermore unless and until that particular defect is rectified. Got it now?
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, sometimes they inspect, but then also anything happens. So who will be responsible for that?
I don't get your question exactly what you try to ask. See, anything can happen.
Sometimes,
Huh.
yeah, yes, sometimes they inspect, but
Huh.
then also happens. So who
What
will be
happened?
responsible?
What happens?
Means anything means
Any accident means, sir.
During
any
inspection.
accident will happen.
During inspection, you are talking about.
Yeah.
See, during inspection,
During
during inspection, if if I found emergency fire pump is not working, okay, as a PSC inspector, I will need to detain the vessel, as simple as that, and I will say ki your vessel is detained and it is not able to sail out unless and until you rectify the defect. So it is a responsibility of a owner to give whatever spares required for the emergency fire pump to get it operational. So जब तक emergency fire pump operational नहीं होगा, vessel cannot sail out. As simple as that.
I think his question was if the inspection has been done and everything was fine, but then too, if something happens afterwards, then who is the responsible person, or who
See,
is what is the responsibility?
let's consider that Mumbai port state inspection happened, everything was fine. After that, while sailing, my emergency pump got kaput. Very much possible. It's a machine. Anything can happen to the machinery at any time. Correct. Now, when this thing happens, and let's consider I am going to the Singapore. Now, first I will inform if I'm going for the berthing, I will inform to the company. I will try to rectify, and I however I try, but there are certain spares which are required. Unless and until that I replace, I cannot operate my emergency fire pump. In that particular case, I will need to inform the company and the local agent over there. Local agent will inform the port state. I'm going to Singapore. The local agent will inform port state, "Ki sir, the vessel has got a issue with these emergency fire pump." Okay. Now in this particular scenario, जो भी ये selling का period है from Mumbai to Singapore, okay, the company has to make sure कि required spare is reached at Singapore. Okay. Now there, Singapore will not detain the vessel, but they will give you an observation कि चलो भाई हम detain नहीं करेंगे, but boss, before you depart from Singapore, make sure your fire pump should be ready. There is no compromise in emergency equipment at all. Anything can go wrong at any time, but it is very important on a part of a ship that it should be informed to the regulating authorities. Understood? Chalo, let's move ahead to the statutory certificate. See, statutory certificates are the mandatory certificate for the vessel to trade. Okay. So now again, who is responsible for issuing this certificate, gentlemen? It will be the flag state. No, not owners, man. Flag state. Owner, as an owner, I cannot just print मेरा certificate और मैं दे सकता हूँ. ऐसा नहीं है. Flag state has to issue the certificate. So there is international load line, then SAFCON, we call it as ship safety construction.
Sir, the home flag state will issue the certificate. Suppose vessel is having an Indian flag, then the Indian flag state will issue the certificate, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So then safety radio, then ship safety certificate. Passenger ship safety certificate is applicable only for the passenger ship, okay, not for the tanker and the cargo ship. Then IOPP, International Oil Prevention Pollution Certificate. Then all these are the mandatory certificate for trading, gentlemen. A lot of certificates are there.
डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे या फिर बस हमें ये ब्रीफली ऐसे दिख है?
Just remember, for your, it is only required to see if they will, maximum they will not ask you about this, definitely, okay, but just remember these are the statutory certificate which are required for the vessel to trade, okay. Name a few: safety construction, safety equipment, safety radio, okay, cargo ship safety, IOPP, okay, all this. Certificate.
Sir,
Yeah.
IOPP is valid for the 5 year or 1 year?
5 years. 5 years. With intermediate survey after also it will be all these certificates. Intermediate survey after 2.5 years, not exceeding 36 months, and annual endorsement.
Sir, what's that? Endorsement, sir?
Annual endorsements vessel mandatory for the flag state to carry out inspection once in a year, correct? The evident documentary part to your flag state, and they will someone on behalf of the flag state will come and they will sign and give it to you, or else they will give it to the company and company will send a scan afterwards. That is also possibility.
Basically, it's a renewal. It's a renewal.
It's not renewal. Again, I am repeating. It's endorsement. Endorsement is something ki chalo you have it, but yes, you are following it. Renewal is after 5 years.
So one second. That is like the issue date will be same, but it will be endorsed on different pages. Is it like that?
See, for example, today is what? 10th or 11th? 11 July. Okay. If today I issue you the certificate, that would be first. Now, very first time, if I'm giving you, I will issue you the interim certificate, which will be valid for 3 months. मतलब 11 जुलाई को अगर मैं दे रहा हूँ, तो August, September, October. So it will be valid till 10th October. Okay, 1 day previous, 10th October 2021. October 2021 से पहले, again I will come on board. I will inspect whether you are complying with whatever interim certificates are given or not, and then I will issue you the full term certificate. Now, full term certificate I will issue you for the 5 years, and date would be again. ऐसा नहीं रहेगा वो कि वो 11 अक्टूबर से रहेगा. No, the issue date again will be from this 11th July. Okay, 11 July 2020 से लेके 21 से लेके for 5 years कितना होता है?
26.
10th. Okay, 10 July 2026, and after 10 July 2026 को आपको रिन्यूअल कराना पड़ेगा. And annual endorsement will be for this certificate, annual endorsement will be on 10 July 2022. Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Annual endorsement done after 1 year, right?
After 1 year. Yes, every annual endorsement. It's an annual,
okay,
na?
okay.
1 year annual endorsement. Okay. So these are the various certificates. So that's the certification parts. Let's move to the classification now. Just a moment.
So, sir, just one question, sir. So just now you said it is not a renewal, right? So if endorsement is not done, still certificate is valid and we are not worried about anything, right?
No. If your annual endorsement is not done, then next port जो आपका रहेगा ना, they will always ask you for this certificate and they will check the validity. अगर आपका annual endorsement नहीं हुआ है, तो you cannot enter and you cannot trade.
So that
So
means it's a renewal kind of thing, right? I mean, we are just
no, it's
it
not
will
renewal.
expire if we are.
Again I am repeating, it's not renewal, it's annual endorsement. Annual endorsement में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं करना रहता है. The ship needs to submit its class survey record to the flag and बोला जाता है कि yes we all are complying everything. तो वो सर्वेयर आके एनुअल एंडोर्समेंट स्टैम्प एंड साइन करके दे देता है आपको. इट्स नॉट रिन्यूअल. रिन्यूअल का मतलब है कि न्यू सर्टिफिकेट इज बीन इशूड टू द वेसल. यहाँ पे नया सर्टिफिकेट नहीं लिया जाता. एट द बैक पेज एवरी ईयर 5 कॉलम्स आर देयर एनुअल एंडोर्समेंट के लिए. तीसरा कॉलम जो रहता है वो इंटरमीडिएट सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए रहता है.
Sir, they are just checking and verifying that whatever
they are just verifying
that whatever we are carrying is right.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, it's a verification, basically annual verification you can say.
During the annual survey, annual endorsement, they are not checking any safety equipment or anything.
See, if the vessel is within the particular this thing, and if the flag state inspector wants to check, they can come and check. But इतना टाइम होता नहीं है फ्लैग को कि हर बार ये आके देखे. Can you see my screen now? Classification societies.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's come to the class. There is a American Bureau of Shipping ABS class. Okay. This is ABS, American Bureau of Shipping. Then there is a very famous class, Lloyd's Register. Okay. Then
Norway.
This Det Nos Veritas, then Bureau Veritas. Okay. So all these classes are there, different classes are there. Now, can anyone tell me, is the classification or to, is the classification mandatory, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
It must be, sir.
Anyone has got a different answer?
Yes, it is necessary.
No, sir, it's not.
Classification is not mandatory.
Not mandatory.
Flag state cannot issue all certificates and do all the inspections. Class societies are doing it on the
Exactly.
And if you are class, you are not covered under any PNI. I mean, your insurance is not valid.
This is the main reason, gentlemen. Okay, this is the main reason. Somebody has correctly pointed out, classification of a vessel is not mandatory. However, if the vessel is not class, so basically आपका insurance नहीं रहेगा. Okay, you will not have a valid insurance, hull and machinery insurance and all those things. So your vessel, कोई पागल है जो आपके जहाज पे करोड़ों का कार्गो देगा? See, so that is what is purpose. It is in vessel to be classed from a particular. So otherwise, कोई owner अपना जहाज क्लासिफिकेशन सोसाइटी के अंदर देता ही नहीं था. Since your P&I, okay, then your hull and machinery insurance gets null and void. That is why the owners are required to class their vessel. Okay. So as you can see over here, the very important first point, classification society or the organization. Okay. And the technical standard for construction and operation of the classification. Same example, I am repeating the same example. I decided to construct a ship, let's consider, or I am going to the Indian flag. Okay, I wish to register this particular ship to Indian flag. So flag state बोलता है कि boss, see, I don't have जहाज बन रहा है तो मैं एक साल आके वहां पे खड़ा रहूं every day and I will check for the compliance with solar standard, IMO standard and all those things. Okay, तो बोलता है कि एक काम करो, you do the classification society. तो मैं कोई भी क्लास के पास जा सकता हूँ. I can go to ABS. Okay, I can go to Lloyd's Register. Okay, these are the special non-governmental bodies जिनका काम सिर्फ इतना ही है कि vessel to check the compliance of a vessel with the solar standard. मतलब कार्गो शिप कंस्ट्रक्शन के बारे में देखना. ओके, कार्गो टैंक कैसा होना चाहिए, कितना हाइट का होना चाहिए, द मेटल यूज should be of which quality, उसका thickness कितना होना चाहिए, all those things, the very minute details that would be checked by of whom, gentlemen? Flag. Okay, understood? Classification main role. Another important thing which they give, that is called as the आपने देखा रहेगा शिप साइड पे कि there is a around, oh, 1 second, I'll just check for that particular thing on the net. Just a second, please. One second, please. The very important thing which classification society does is they give you a particular limit. Up to a particular draft, the vessel can yeah, I am 1 second. Just a second, I have got it. Okay, gentlemen, can you see now? This particular mark is given by, can you see there is one white circle, there is one white line, there are again besides that you can see there are different lines over here.
There is this load line, the horizontal line.
Yes.
Load line.
So load line, that is issued by the class. Can you see this is L and there is R? Okay, which means this load line is issued to a vessel by which class, gentlemen? LR
Lloyd's
class, that
registered.
is Lloyd's registered.
And what is load line?
So
That's
can
what
you
I'm talking.
explain a little
Yeah,
concept?
I am explaining. Now you can see there is a black color, okay, over here, and below there is a red color. Okay, ideally, gentlemen, this line, okay, this is not much clear. Basically, this particular white line at the center of the white circle, that should be aligned over here. Okay, over here, like this.
Above this, a little above.
Yes, little above, means at the
summer
border
draft.
of, yeah, at the border of this black line, which is summer draft, you can see over here.
Okay.
So this is what is one of the important work done by the classification society. They give you a load line mark. Now, what does it means that you can see over here, there is a summer mark which is written. So basically in a particular period of an year in a summer zone, okay, vessel can load only up to here.
Sir, summer,
Okay.
summer here means weather, related to weather, summers, weather
Yeah.
condition.
Basically different time of the year, sometimes tropical. For example, if I give you now it's a month of July, right? So basically India is in summer zone now. So if I wish to load in this, load up to only up to this summer draft. Okay. for example, if I tell you the summer draft of the vessel is 10 meter, in other words, in India at present, I can load only up to 10 meter draft mark.
Sir, these conditions are supplied by some body. These conditions, that 10 meter, 12 meter, supplied by someone, some body.
Let's consider, as I said, classification is not mandatory. And as an owner, if I don't class my vessel as a, see, these classification society, the very first classification society which came into existence is Lloyd Register. And why did they come into existence? Somewhere in 1800 or 1700 centuries way back. होता क्या था? Owners were only behind money. Okay, तो कितना भी लोड करके जाओ, ओवरलोड करके जाओ. Okay, so ओवरलोड किया तो क्या होगा? Obviously, more cargo you load, more freight will get to the owners. So ओनर ये नहीं देखता था कि सेफ्टी ऑफ शिप क्या है, सेफ्टी ऑफ क्रू क्या है, सेफ्टी ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट क्या है. उनका काम बस इतना ही था कि आई नीड अ मनी, दैट्स इट. To stop all those things, that's why this Lloyd Register came into existence. बोले कि नहीं बॉस, these owner lobby just cannot do whatever they wish, like beyond the safety of our sailors on board. So so they took all these initiatives and they said, okay, we will look for all the construction purpose, then we'll look for this load line, we'll issue the load line and all those things. This is how these classification societies came into existence. Okay, and another importance of classification society, that they gave the load line to the vessel. Okay, so here you can see the summer, then down below you can see winter. Means
Yes, sir.
If you are in the winter zone, for example, that South African coast, Cape Town or something, okay, that I believe that goes into the winter zone. Okay, so if you are loading there or if you are transiting from there, your draft should not go beyond this winter. Now same like that, there is a tropical zone, you can see over here. Okay, so Singapore is in a tropical zone. So if the particular vessel is trading only within a Singapore and tropical region, they can load little extra. Can you see this? So this is how these different lines are there, load line marks are there. Okay,
Sir, if I can ask, this load line, this can also be said the keel, KEEL, keel of the vessel.
no, keel is this. See, I am just drawing. See, what is keel? If I tell you typically, now this portion which is there, this particular plate, base plate, that is what is a keel.
Okay.
Understood?
How the weather condition affecting this loading capacity of the vessel?
Okay, I tell you, different time of the vessel. Now this is the monsoon season in India, right? So our zone within Indian region is classified as a summer zone. Whereas in month of January, once the monsoon subsides, okay, weather conditions are normal. तो जनवरी से लेके आपका इनफैक्ट अक्टूबर नवंबर से लेके टिल मार्च तक यू हैव अ गुड वेदर कंडीशन. सो देयर इज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ टाइम जहाँ पे इंडिया को समर नहीं बट ट्रॉपिकल कंसीडर किया जाता है. सो इन दैट पर्टिकुलर पीरियड यू कैन लोड लिटिल एक्स्ट्रा कार्गो. देयर इज नो हार्म इन दैट.
Sir, one thing arises here, that since this LR line is showing just below the summer one, right? So what does this
actually that's what I'm saying. This LR line should be in line with the summer zone. Okay,
sir,
and over here.
Okay. Then what does that signify? That is the correct position for that zone, summer zone, since that is the position for summer zone. And if this LR line is below that, then what does it signify, sir?
See, it should not be below this. That's why I said कि this picture is not proper. Ideally ये जो center white line जो है, that should be here, where I have drawn right now, at the border of this black, and you can even see the summer that is also at the border of this black line. Can you see that?
But that position is for summer zone only, right?
That position is for summer zone, yes. See, you cannot have a different circle for all these tropical water. You cannot have a separate circle. For winter, you cannot have a separate circle. You understand? So what they are given as a standard, anything, whenever whenever we declare our vessel to the charter or something, what is being asked is, आपका summer draft क्या है? You tell us your summer draft. So it's a very generic this thing. That's why this particular circle is shown for the summer draft.
So this line must be correct for some weather conditions, right? This LR line position.
Summer zone.
For summer zone, this is wrong. But for that where it is currently lying, it might be correct for that zone below summer.
Boss, whoever has drawn this, that plimsoll mark is not properly marked. That's what I'm telling you. This center line should have been placed over here, and this circle will go little bit over top. Okay. Idea is that this line should align with this at the separation of this black and red zone.
Okay.
Which is a summer zone.
Okay.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि मतलब जो मेजरमेंट है शिप का वो तो सेम ही रहेगा, लेकिन ये समर और विंटर में ये उसकी लोडिंग कैपेसिटी कैसे चेंज हो जा रही है?
Okay. Now the weather condition is bad. So ऐसा नहीं है ना कि जमीन की तरह तो जहाज चलेगा नहीं ना एकदम स्टेडी एंड स्मूथ. पानी में suppose if the weather is bad, ship will heavily roll and pitch. Got it? So if I load extra, like up to tropical, if I load tropical means what? I am loading more cargo, right? Suppose my summer draft is 10 meter, so tropical might be 10.3 meters. तो मैं 0.3 मीटर तक एक्स्ट्रा लोड कर रहा हूँ. आई एम लोडिंग एक्स्ट्रा कार्गो. सो बेसिकली मेरा जो वाटर लाइन से लेके डेक लेवल जो है वो कम हो रहा है ना रोलिंग के वजह से. ओके. एंड अगर वो कम हो रहा है तो the stability and the safety of my vessel that is getting reduced down due to bad
ठीक है
weather.
सर, ये मॉनसून सीजन के लिए है, लेकिन विंटर और समर में तो वेदर फेयर ही होता है, तो फिर ये विंटर में कार्गो.
Who said winter the weather is fair, gentlemen? North Atlantic and South Atlantic winter season very rough sea, very rough sea. That's why you see the winter line is marked down below. Means आप summer तक भी load नहीं कर सकते. You need to have the extra buoyancy.
Sir, here comes the point. When the ship goes down, when the ship is more loaded, the ship goes down.
Yes.
In the water, then draft increases or decreases.
Increases.
When the ship, suppose ship is loaded, and how can I say, if the ship is going down, then we will say draft is increasing. You can just clear this concept of draft and the position of the ship and the draft.
See, tropical, I tell you, tropical water, you can see the vessel can load extra, right? Why Singapore is in a tropical zone? कि पूरे साल में वहाँ पे there is no storm, कुछ storm नहीं होता है. Okay, there is no tropical depression, there is nothing. Okay, there is no temperate latitude depression, कुछ भी नहीं होता. Now you tell me, if the weather in the particular area is absolutely good, fit and fine, then why shouldn't I more little extra? You tell me. I can, right? So that's why tropical का जो marking है वो summer से भी ऊपर है.
Sir, this is draft marking.
Yeah, it's a basically draft marking. यहाँ पे अगर देखोगे तो नीचे से कील से लेके ऊपर तक यहाँ पे draft markings होती है.
Yes.
Sir, I got a small doubt, sir. I'm a little bit confused. If the weather condition is changing, the density of the water will be changing by a little bit, right? Well, for example, if we compare it from summer, the winter density will be a little bit on the higher side.
No. Very wrong concept. Density has got nothing to do with the seasonal waters. Now density, what is density, gentlemen?
Mass upon volume.
Mass upon volume, right? Okay. Typical seawater density is 1.025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whereas if I'm going into any river water, fresh water, I would say fresh water, FW, fresh water. Okay.
Okay.
River water is a fresh water which doesn't have a salt. So if you see over there, the density is 1. Freshwater density is 1.000.
Okay.
Okay. So if you go to the Mississippi River or something, there might be a possibility that you might get 0.9999. Okay. In other port, if you go to a particular port, okay, now a particular dock, okay, you may not get 1.025, you might get 1.027. Okay, so that is that would be called as a dock water density. Density depends upon the salt content, in other words.
Not on the temperature.
No, not on the temperature, nothing. Okay.
Okay. So if the vessel is sailing from seawater to a tropical freshwater area, then basically if the vessel is loaded till draft mark, summer draft, at sea condition, normal sea condition, and she's going to freshwater condition, that means the vessel will automatically go to the tropical draft mark, correct?
It will not go to tropical, but yes, her draft will increase when she will go from seawater to freshwater. Her draft will increase. Understood?
Sir, how is this happening? How is the position when the water is changing? How the draft is changing, sir? The depth must be same, or how is the draft changing?
Density changing. That's why, right?
See, we are wasting our valuable time on this discussion. You can PM. I'll give you my number in the chat box. Okay, or you can PM me over here. I will call you to explain you more on that, because we are losing unnecessary time on this particular topic, which is required for the sailor.
Can we proceed further?
Yeah, we'll proceed further now. See, because this is required for the sailor, how the draft changes, density changes, and that's a typical whole chapter of a stability on that. Understand this point. Okay. So so let's come back to the classification society. So I just explained you regarding the what is importance of a classification society, and there are various classification societies over here. Okay, and there are 13 classification societies which are called as a IACS. Can you see my screen? International Association of Classification Society, IACS.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if you, this is Irfan from NMIS. Sir,
Yeah.
if you wish, you can take a break of 10 minutes, if you wish, or if you want to continue after this.
Just a moment. After this topic, I will give a break.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. IACS is the International Association. Again, I'm saying it's an association of classification society.
Sir, it's not showing on the screen.
Sir, the slide has not changed, sir.
1 second. 1 second. Let me share it again. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see the IACS member over here. There is a Lloyd registered, Bureau Veritas, and mind you, I tell you, Indian Registry of Shipping. That is also a part of IACS. That has been added maybe 5 years back down the line. Okay. So IACS. So basically, if you see the 99.9% of the ships within a world, they are classed from these members. Okay. Although there are, you can see Turk Lloyd, then Vietnam register, you can see, but you will not find much ship registered in this particular, with this particular class. Mostly you will find a ship 99.9% is from these IACS members. Okay. So as I said, अभी flag state क्या करता है? Flag state will tell to the class कि you go on my behalf, carry out the inspection, you tell me, you submit me my report. तो classification surveyor वो जाएगा certification के पहले, he will check for all this thing, he will submit his report to the flag state. Okay, and then in turn your certificate will be issued on behalf of the flag, but of course with the help of classification society. Okay, this is the role of the.
Sir, in this, China is mentioned in both lists. So they have two classification societies in China.
China Corporation Register of Shipping is there. I don't know whether they have a two or there is a
I
single.
mean, the IX list there is China Classification Society also.
There is China Classification Society is there, and there you can see again China Corporation Register of Shipping. Now I don't know these two what their purpose is. Mostly this COSCO vessel, to be precise, COSCO vessels, container vessel. You will see these are registered under Chinese Classification Society, CS class. Okay, merchant vessel. Maybe inland waterways, small barges or something, they may be registered with this China Corporation Register of Shipping. Okay. So, but yes, these are the ICS member, and most of the ships in the world are classed from this ICS member only. Okay. So they help in verifying construction, certification, commodities, consumer, all these things are there. So let's keep this part. This I explain you. I told you this. See, I told you, after 5 years there is renewal. Then after 2.5 years or not exceeding 36 months, dry dock to dry dock, there is a intermediate survey. Now,
yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to ask this thing. A little concept of dry dock to dry dock. A little concept, sir. Dry dock to dry dock.
Dry dock to dry dock is like it's a mandatory for the vessel to see. You can carry normal condition. You can carry out the repairs of a ship which the area which is above the water, correct?
Yes, sir.
But what for the area which is below the water, which always remains below the water? For example, the
dry dock is basically a maintenance area, right? Where it is separate.
Repair yard. Repair yard. It's a repair yard. The vessel goes onto the blocks. Okay, the water is fully drained. There is no water at all, and you can carry out underwater, underhull repairs. Okay, maintenance on your sea chest walls, engine rooms, all those things. Whichever is not possible to carry out under normal circumstances, all such kind of repairs are carried in the dry dock. For example, tail shaft survey. If I want to carry out the inspection of my propeller, to har bar, propeller is the fan which helps in running the ship ahead, right?
Yes. Propulsion system.
So yeah, so if I need to carry out the repairs on my propellers, obviously my vessel has to sit on the dock, right or not? She has to go into the dock to carry out that repair. So such kind of major repairs are being done dry dock to dry dock. Okay, and it is mandatory for all the vessels to carry out dry dock not exceeding 36 months. Okay, the window opens after 2.5 years. 6 months window is there. Okay, but anyhow it should not exceed more than 3 years. That is what is the requirement. Okay, so basically during these surveys, intermediate surveys or annual endorsement, the surveyor from the classification society, they come on board to see everything is correct or not on behalf of the flag state. Okay, flag doesn't have the time to go everywhere and see. Agar ye Indian register of shipping has got the office into the China, they have the office into the Europe, they have the office into the US. Okay, so वहाँ पे local surveyor appoint किए हुए हैं. तो कोई भी vessel रहेगा तो if the ship is in US, the IRS will tell जो भी रहेगा उधर, okay, you go there now on behalf of us. Understood?
Yes.
So that is what is a class. See, this is what I was talking about. This vessel is in dry dock now. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Propeller tail shaft survey. Just now I spoke about. तो जहाँ पे प्रोपेलर पूरा बाहर निकाला जाता है, the bearings, the seal,
sir, oiling, lubrication,
everything is being done. Okay, So then boiler is being carried out. So there are a lot of things which is being done into the dry dock. Okay. Withdrawal of a class कब withdraw होता है? Okay. If the class has been suspended for more than 6 months, class कब suspend होता है? When the class is being suspended. Suppose if the PSC detains your vessel, okay, multiple detention अगर हो रहा है, suppose ship गया चाइना में जाके PSC detention हुआ, next port she goes into the Australia या फिर in India there is again PSC detention, which means there is terribly something wrong as per the maintenance of a ship. Okay, तो class will definitely say कि भाई ये ऐसा बर्बाद जहाज जो है मुझे नहीं रखना मेरे पास. So the class will be withdrawn. Okay, that would be a blacklisted ship, and no one wants to keep blacklisted ship under their classification society because there is a standard, right? When we talk about standard, the ship has to be in a good condition. So yeah, तो कभी कभी होता है when there are multiple detention, when there is a request by the owner. For example, there might be a possibility कि यार ये classification society है, they have to gel up with the owners, they have to work for the owners, because as I said, remember classification is a private entity. It's not a government body. So obviously जिसको जिस जगह से पैसा आ रहा है तो उसके साथ कॉपरेट करके भी काम चलाना पड़ता है, राइट? So if owner says I don't want your class, he can change it at any time. IRS है ना, IRS के सर्वर मुझे बहुत परेशान to Lloyds, I will go to ABS. That can also happen. So it depends on the owner. Okay, class has been suspended for more than 6 months, तो भी चला जाता है. Ship is reported as a constructive total loss. जहाज का एक्सीडेंट हो गया, कोलिजन हो गया, it's gone, totally gone. तो obviously class भी नहीं रहेगा. Okay, ship is reported lost. Okay, so all these scenarios are there when the ship will the class will be withdrawn. Next is
here it is written that the society will withdraw. The society means the classification society.
Yes, classification society. That is what in other word is the class. Okay. So this is just keep it. I just keep it. Certification of container and all those things. Let's not go into this. Statutory certificate we talk about. Okay. Let's take a break for how many minutes you want, gentlemen? 10 minutes?
10 minutes more.
Yes, sir. Enough.
Okay, let's catch up at 1150. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We start with our next topic.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Can continue with the lecture.
Okay, thank you. Now let's move to the next chapter, that is letter of credit and Incoterms. Please. Let me start my screen share. One second. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Letter of credit and Incoterms. So, gentlemen, what what do you think? What should what could be this letter of credit means? Any idea? I cannot hear properly.
So the letter of credit is like second step of the commercial deal, where the buyer issues the LC to the the seller issues the LC, and it's like a bank guarantee. So
Correct.
once he receives the goods at his disposal, the bank clears the LC to the seller.
Okay.
So bank
See.
bank will pay advance. Bank will pay amount in advance to seller.
No, it is not credit card, gentlemen.
9 is
Where you?
letter.
I tell you.
It is a agreement between seller and buyer.
No, it is called as a sales agreement. Sales agreement is different. Letter of credit is different. Okay, agreement between the buyer and the seller is typically called as a sales contract. Okay, and it's not a letter of credit. See, I tell you, credit card. Okay, we use a credit card. A lot of you must be using. Now, what is a how it is being used? You go to the shop, you buy a product, okay, on a credit. तो हो क्या रहा है वहाँ पे? Whichever bank credit card you are holding, that particular bank is releasing the payment for you, right? It is not being deducted from your account at that moment, correct or not? But yes, definitely you have to pay this particular amount. Let's say आपका SBI card का credit card है, you buy AC on that, 40,000 का bill है, the SBI has paid you for that AC 40,000, but जब भी उसका due date आएगा, you have to pay that 40,000 to your SBI, right, from your account. So the typical benefit which you get is that at that particular moment the money is not being deducted from your account, right? It is being credited. Okay, credit पे दिया जा रहा है from whichever is issuing bank, and you enjoy that particular thing. Okay, and on the due date you pay, and if you don't pay, so the interest rate is very high. So credit banks are very happy if you are not paying in time, correct or not? Now this credit letter is something different. Now what do you understand by credit? यहाँ पे credit किसको मिल रहा है? Okay, किसको क्या credit मिल रहा है? See, whenever there is a buying selling takes place, it is between the two parties or the group of parties, whatever it is. One is buyer, other is seller, correct? Okay, now you understand within a shipping, a cargo is being carried from one part of the world to the another part of the world, जहाँ पे buyer have not seen the seller, seller doesn't know the buyer, they are totally unaware of each other, right? They don't know what exactly. Okay, अगर suppose if there is a trade between two friends, आपका कोई दोस्त है, तो आप बोल सकते हैं ना कि यार ये मेरा दोस्त है, इसको मैं चलो, there is a formal contract, mutual and verbal agreement between you two, ठीक है, तू इतना पेमेंट रिलीज कर दे, मैं जो प्रोडक्ट है वो दे दूंगा, if you are a shop owner or something. Okay, so यहाँ पे क्या है, you know that particular buyer, you know the particular seller. Okay, अगर कल को आपका दोस्त आपको पैसा नहीं दिया आपने प्रोडक्ट देने के बाद, या फिर डिले कर दिया, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम आप दोगे क्या उसको? नहीं दोगे ना. You will be reluctant to do the buy and selling करने में. So here in credit system, when these two buyers, two parties, buyer and seller, don't have any contact with each other, so there has to be a particular body, okay, which would take the responsibility. Okay, तो इसमें letter of credit का क्या रोल है? So first of all, there is a contact between buyer and seller. Let me come to that particular chart. One second. Yeah. Now you see, at one end there is a buyer, At one end there is a buyer or the importer, okay, and there is a seller who's selling the product. Okay, अब what is the purpose of letter of credit? यहाँ पे क्या, जो genuine buyer रहता है या फिर genuine seller रहता है, they will definitely go for this letter of credit. सबसे पहले what happens is that buyer and seller के बीच में there is a contract, okay, and that is called as a contract of sale. Okay, let's say this seller is manufacturing suppose clothes, he is manufacturing clothes, okay, and ये buyer है यहाँ पे. Let's consider this seller is located in India, okay, and sorry, the seller is located in India and this buyer is in China. Let's take the example. So seller is manufacturing the clothes. तो यहाँ पे buyer जो है importer, he says that I need 1,000 maybe let's say 6,000 pieces or 5,000 pieces, okay, of this particular shirt, pant, whatever it is. तो contract of sale में क्या होता है, सबसे पहले the quantity of the product, कितना quantity देगा, कब देगा, क्या करेगा, okay, all those things are being decided under the contract of sale. Up to what date? Suppose that if this seller is manufacturing some engine product, और ये जो buyer है वो ये कार है, okay, is a Jaguar Land Rover कोई रहेगा और seller यहाँ पे दूसरे country में, okay, so obviously to construct a engine, its parts and everything, it takes a time, right? So कब देगा, क्या करेगा, how much would be the quantity, what should be the quality, everything will be decided in this contract of sale. ये तो हो गया, चलो, these two sellers have come together and they decided about the contract of sale. Now what buyer will do, अब seller को क्या guarantee है कि भाई मैं तो product दे दूंगा, but what about the money that should come ना. आज ये मुझे बोल रहा है कि 5,000 pieces दे दो मुझे, shirt, pant and all those clothes, you give it to me, but what is the guarantee of the money? There has to be some guarantee. तो buyer क्या बोलता है, don't worry, I will issue I will ask my bank to issue a letter of credit. So next is importer bank, or you called it as a buyer's bank, okay, and ये buyer जाता है बैंक के पास, okay, and he says कि sir I have a business with the particular seller in India, okay, I need to buy this and you please issue the letter of credit. तो बैंक ऐसे ही लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट देता है क्या? लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू गो फॉर द होम लोन, तो यू थिंक बैंक ऐसे ही दे देता है क्या होम लोन? दे आस्क यू ना कि प्रीपे कैसे करोगे भाई, मैं दे तो दूंगा, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू रीपे मी? सो दे विल चेक यू वेयर यू हैव बीन एम्प्लॉयड, व्हाट इज योर सैलरी स्टेटमेंट, ऑल दोस थिंग्स दे चेक. दे ऑल्सो चेक कि चलो अगर कल को ये रीपे नहीं कर पाया, कल को जॉब चला गया, तो व्हाट इज अ प्रॉपर्टी विच ही इज होल्डिंग, करेक्ट और नॉट? तो ये सब देखा जाता है. सेम वे इंपोर्टर विल आस्क कि फर्स्ट बायर साहब यू जस्ट शो मी कि इसके पहले आपने कितना प्रोडक्ट बेचा हुआ है, यू शो मी योर यू नो कैसा क्या सेलिंग है, वेदर यू कैन पे द मनी और नॉट. सबसे पहले तो ये बात आ जाती है, ओके, तो वो सब दिखा देता है, ऑल दोस थिंग्स. सो they ask bank to promise payment to the seller. तो बैंक बोलती है कि चलो you give me certain amount of thing or you give me the details so that I can issue you the letter of credit. letter of credit में ये बैंक के पास जाता है, बोलता है कि see I have got this stuff, this is the mode of my payment, all those things are there, you can even keep this certain amount with you and you can issue the letter of credit. तो buyer banks जो है और the importer banks, they issue a letter of credit. See this letter of credit, okay. किसको देते हैं? Do they give it to the seller? No, they ask seller bank to communicate to the promised party. So there is another bank which is a seller bank, correct? तो ये जो buyer bank जो है that issues a letter of credit and it gives, क्योंकि पैसा आएगा तो क्या हाथ में आएगा क्या किसी के, it comes to the account, right, whichever account. तो वो जिस अकाउंट में आएगा that is the which bank, that is the exporter bank or the seller banks. Are you with me everyone?
Yes.
So yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this letter of credit is being issued to this seller bank. और फिर seller banks बोलता है कि boss, now you don't have to worry, see that there is a letter of credit आ गया है, so कल को जाके तुम्हारा कुछ भी होता है, even after shipping the products, if something goes wrong, कुछ नहीं, जितना पैसा agree है वो तुम्हें मिल जाएगा. So the main important thing which the letter of credit does, it gives a guarantee of a payment to the seller. Understood? समझ गए? So it gives
Yes.
a guarantee of a payment to the seller. So seller बोलता है कि हाँ now, तो seller under trauma ही रहेगा unless and until his payment gets to him or her. Correct? So to avoid all this conflict, seller बोलता है कि boss, I need a letter of credit from your bank. तो जो seller bank बोलता है कि साहब आ गया आपका letter of credit आ गया, ठीक है, तो अभी आप you can start doing. तो seller without anything, क्योंकि कल को क्या होगा, अगर suppose buyer से कि boss I don't have money, ठीक है, मैं प्रोडक्ट तुम्हारा नहीं ले सकता, यहाँ पे सेलर ने पूरा उसका पैसा लगा के प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चर कर दिया. यू अंडरस्टैंड द रिस्क इन्वॉल्व. अगर कल को जाके ये नहीं लेगा, बायर नहीं लेगा, तो ये इसके गले में ही पड़ जाएगा, सेलर के गले में, ऑल दोस थिंग्स, एफर्ट्स, एवरीथिंग. करेक्ट? सो सेलर बोलता है ओके, नाउ लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट इज बीइंग गॉट, ओके आई विल स्टार्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग द प्रोडक्ट एज डिफाइंड अंडर अवर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल. सो पूरा अपना प्रोडक्ट पूरा बना देता है. ओके, यू सी हियर, ऑफर अ पेमेंट रिक्वेस्ट, ओके, फॉर द पोर्ट ऑफ शिपमेंट. सो ये सब कुछ हो गया. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट थिंग इज व्हाट, प्रोडक्ट हैज बीन मैन्युफैक्चर्ड, लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट हैज बीन सीन, एवरीथिंग. नेक्स्ट थिंग यहाँ पे हो जाता है कि ये जो गुड्स जो है, ओके, शिप के अंदर, वी आर इन इंडिया, आई वांट टू शिप, रोड से कितना टाइम लगेगा, फ्लाइट से तो और भी फ्रेट ज्यादा है, लेट्स सेंड इट वाया शिप. सो आई सी अ पर्टिकुलर शिप, आई पुट इट ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर शिप एंड ये शिप निकल गया अभी बायर को प्रोडक्ट देने के लिए. अंडरस्टूड? नेक्स्ट स्टेप, अभी प्रोडक्ट तो चला गया, प्रोडक्ट जाने के बाद ऑल दोज डॉक्यूमेंट्स विच आर रिलेटेड टू द प्रोडक्ट, जिसके अंदर क्वांटिटी स्पेसिफाई है, क्वालिटी स्पेसिफाई है, व्हाट आर इट्स जनरल क्वालिटीज, ओके, कौन से मटेरियल से बना हुआ है वो प्रोडक्ट, ऑल दोज डिटेल्स, उसका कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट रहेगा ना, लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स. सो ये सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो है वो सेलर जो है वो इधर दे देता है एक्सपोर्टर्स बैंक को. ओके, एक्सचेंजिंग शिपिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स फॉर द पेमेंट. अंडरस्टूड? एक्सपोर्टर्स बैंक को आ गई है. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस, डिलीवर शिपिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्स रिक्वेस्ट रीइंबर्समेंट ऑफ अ फंड. तो ये एक्सपोर्टर बैंक बोलता है कि बॉस देखो, और जितना भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, फॉर एग्जांपल फ्लैट का, अगर आपने फ्लैट लिया हुआ है तो, एंड इफ यू हैव अ बैंक लोन जेंटलमैन और अदर फोक्स, तो वो जो आपके फ्लैट के पेपर्स है वो आपके पास रहते हैं या बैंक के पास रहते हैं, टिल द टाइम यू डू नॉट fully pay your loan back to the bank?
Those are with the bank, sir.
Bank only. They are with the bank. Okay.
Bank only.
Exactly in the same manner, यहाँ पे फ्लैट का डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं है, यहाँ पे तुम्हारे प्रोडक्ट का डॉक्यूमेंट है. So all these documents are being handed over by the seller to its bank. Okay, seller bank के पास है. Seller bank contacts buyer's bank. वो बोलते हैं कि boss, I have got, जितना भी डॉक्यूमेंट है वो सब कुछ आ गया है, नाउ यू रिलीज मी द फंड. ओके, तो ये बायर बैंक जो बोलता है कि सी योर ऑल डॉक्यूमेंट्स एंड एवरीथिंग इज रेडी, नाउ सेलर इज आस्किंग यू फॉर द पेमेंट. ओके, तो फिर बायर बोलता है ठीक है बॉस, नाउ द प्रोडक्ट्स आर ऑलरेडी बीइंग शिप्ड. जहाज अभी मेरा इंडिया से सिंगापुर तक तो पहुंच गया है, चाइना आते आते इतना टाइम, मे बी 5 more days she will come. Okay, I will release the payment. Buyer payment release कर देता है. Okay, the buyer has released the payment. तो ये जो importers bank है, they will deduct some जो भी charges रहेंगे उनके whatever it is, they will deduct that, and the remaining जितना भी payment agreed हुआ है under sales contract from buyer bank, it will get transferred to the exporters bank. Okay, exporter banks को मिल गया, and in turn अभी ये exporter bank की seller bank के अंदर आ गया ये account में पैसा, मिल गया seller को पैसा, correct or not? उसके बाद ये जो सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स है वो जो बायर बैंक्स के पास है, द बायर बैंक विल, जैसे बायर पेमेंट कर देगा, ऑल दिस डॉक्यूमेंट विल बी गिवन बैक टू द बायर्स कि ये लो भाई, आपका ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स आ गया, आपका कार्गो आ गया यहाँ पे. ये बोलेगा, ये अभी बायर भी हैप्पी है. क्यों? क्योंकि एज पर सेल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जितना उसको 5000 पीसेस ऑफ क्लोथ शर्ट्स पैंट चाहिए था वो मिल गया अच्छे कंडीशन में. वॉट एवर was specified under contract of sale, it is as per that. मैंने पैसा भी दे दिया है, रिलीज हो गया. Here seller is also happy. क्यों? क्योंकि उसको बड़ा बिजनेस एक मिल गया, 5000 प्रोडक्ट he shipped and he got a payment also, right, in smooth manner. तो बेसिकली ये जो पैसे की लेन देन है वो एकदम स्मूथ हो गई. Why? Because there is something called as a letter of credit which guaranteed owner. Correct or not? Okay, so this is how is the international trade takes place.
So this number 6, what you have described, this is bill of lading.
Exchange of shipping documents.
That has to be given to bank by seller.
See,
that has been boarded on vessel like that.
See, whatever it is that, whatever, see here, bill of lading is a different concept. Let's not confuse this with, let's not confuse at all. Bill of lading has got a different purpose altogether. And who is issuing bill of lading, gentlemen? यहाँ पे seller issue करता है, buyer करता है. कौन करता है issue? Who is issuing bill of lading?
Seller.
Wrong.
Shipping line.
Shipping line.
Shipping company.
Shipping line.
company.
Correct. Okay, shipping line. So you tell me, does this BL has got any relevance with this letter of credit?
Sir, but sir, there is a one question. That when the ship is moved from the PORD, the BL has to be released.
Yes, of course it has to be released.
But there is a different type of BL release. Sometimes the CVBL, sometimes it's the OBL.
There are n numbers different types of BL. Negotiable, non-negotiable, straight.
Sir, we will study
Okay,
this in this
that is different chapter at all. Don't get confused bill of lading with letter of credit. Letter of credit has nothing to do with BL. Okay, see, letter of credit is being traded from buyer to seller. इसमें shipping line का कुछ रोल है, ship का कुछ रोल है इधर.
So, but the seller will get this, BL from ship, right?
Exactly.
The seller doesn't have to give this to the bank.
कौन सा? Yes,
exporter bank.
He has to give. But ये जो document है, you just do not confuse with letter of credit. That is what I mean. Okay, bill of lading has got no role in this letter of credit system.
Okay, understood.
Okay, bill of lading has got total different concept altogether. So do not confuse with LOC. Okay. So letter of credit, सबसे important. If I ask you what is the importance of letter of credit, it gives a guarantee to the buyer, to the seller, that the payment will be assured from the buyer side. Same way, buyer को भी एक assurance मिल जाता है कि seller will manufacture that particular product as per under sales contract and he will get those products. Okay, so it's a win-win situation for both buyer and the seller. That's why LOC is in place. Okay, next is
Sir, this LOC is also called LC. LC number is this letter of credit number only? LC number?
LC number, I don't know. Different people call that they have got a different abbreviations altogether. But LOC is a letter of credit, which I know. Okay. Now shipping line doesn't get this LOC. Yeah. As a master, I have not seen any LOC, letter of credit. It is always traded between two banks. Okay. So key points to remember. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Bank
Yes, sir.
deals with the documents only and not with the goods. Correct? They just see the documents. Then commercial invoice that has got a transport document, inspection certificate, insurance. Okay, so that is all the document part. And bill of lading and the master's bill of lading. And this bill of lading or the shipper, that is also one part of a document, but let's not confuse it with the letter of credit. Letter of credit is different, what we saw. Okay. Bill of lading we'll study in much detail as a separate chapter. Okay. Advantage of LOC, credit risk is eliminated. Okay. ऐसा नहीं है कि भाई बायर ने तो बोल दिया, कल को जाके बायर ये नहीं बोल सकता कि बॉस आई डोंट वांट योर प्रोडक्ट नाउ. ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट इशू मींस बायर हैज टू गिव द पेमेंट. ओके. कल को जाके सपोज इफ द बायर गेट्स अ डैमेज प्रोडक्ट, द प्रोडक्ट इटसेल्फ, तो भी बायर ये नहीं बोल सकता है कि सी आई विल नॉट रिलीज यू पेमेंट. व्हाई? बिकॉज the product which I got that is in damaged condition. वो नहीं बोल सकता. He has to pay to the seller. What he can do, he can claim it afterwards. Okay. So credit risk is eliminated. Reduce exchange rate and political risk. No need of credit check. Requirements to pay are well known. Pre-shipment risk are avoided. Facilitate financing and immediate payment. Okay. So these are the advantage of letter of credit. Next is advantage to the buyer. I have already spoke, but just to revise, expert examination of a document, sources of supply expands, financing is good, no cash is compliance of onboard debt. So this is about letter of credit. Everyone is clear about this LOC? Folks, everyone clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes, sir. Okay, let's move ahead to the Incoterms. Okay. Now, what is this Incoterms? International Chamber of Commerce, they have published this set of terms. Okay. That is called as the international contractual terms. Short form is Incoterms. Okay. So officially known as an international commercial terms, globally recognized Incoterms prevent. Why Incoterms are there? It prevents confusion in foreign trade. Okay. By clarifying the obligation of the buyer and the seller. Parties involved in a domestic and international as a kind of shorthand to help and understand one another and the exact terms of their business agreement. Some Incoterms apply to any means of transportation and other are strictly applying to the transportation across the water. Everyone, somebody has their mic, disturbance is there. Can you please mute your mic? As a part of the syllabus, this is very important chapter. Okay, Incoterms, and you will be asked regarding the full attention to this chapter. Okay. So now what is, see, Incoterms is, these terms are internationally agreed terms and they are defining who is responsible for what. Buyer is responsible for what and seller is responsible for what. it is being clearly defined under the Incoterms. Okay. For example, as I said, there are a particular set of terms which are typically for the sea trade, okay, or the trade within a water. And there are certain terms which are applicable to all modes of transport. It is applicable to sea, it is applicable to your road, it is applicable to the rail transportation. Okay, we called it as a multimodal transport. We will come to that also after our Incoterms chapter. Okay, so these are very important terms. See, for example, FAS, the full form is free alongside ship. Now, this kind of question does come into your examination, huh? So please pay attention once again. Free alongside ship. Now, what do you understand by free alongside ship? Now, can you see over here? See, there are two tables which you can see. Okay, services which are being offered and free alongside में क्या service किसका responsibility है, that is being defined. For example, let's consider I have manufactured a product, same clothes I have manufactured, okay, and I am the seller. So obviously जहाँ पे मेरा गोडाउन है या फिर वेयर आई विल नॉट से वेयर हाउस, द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जहाँ पे है वहाँ पे मैंने मैन्युफैक्चर किया एंड आई हैव अ वेयर हाउस ओवर देयर. ओके, आई टेल द बायर की बॉस योर द प्रोडक्ट्स आर रेडी. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कम्स इज ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर व्हाट, करेक्ट और नॉट? से फॉर एग्जांपल you drive a bike on the road or the car on the road, do you have an insurance or not? Insurance is mandatory or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Mandatory. If the insurance is not there, the police person will catch you, he will put you a fine and all those things. So obviously इतने करोड़ों का कार्गो अगर मूव हो रहा है तो उसका भी इंश्योरेंस जरूरी है नहीं? Ship has got the insurance. Ship has got the insurance under classification society, hull and machinery insurance उसका तो है. That's why the ship is getting cargo. Otherwise जिस जहाज के पास इंश्योरेंस नहीं रहेगा उसको तो कार्गो ही नहीं मिलेगा. सबसे पहली बात तो वो हो गया शिप का इंश्योरेंस. बट ऑब्वियसली दिस कार्गो इज सो वैल्यूएबल कि उसको इंश्योर करना भी जरूरी है, राइट? सो हु विल इंश्योर दैट कार्गो, buyer or the seller? So these are the terms. When we talk about this particular term, in this particular term, it is being clearly defined who is responsible for what. For example, warehousing services and all those things, loading at the origin, inland transportation, अगर जो कुछ भी रहेगा, forwarder and customs, okay, then the terminal charges, everything, all these things will be paid by the seller. Okay, for example, from the manufacturing point, I have to transport the cargo into the warehouse जहाँ पे वो लोड किया जाएगा, तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसका है यहाँ पे? सेलर का है. सो द टर्मिनल चार्जेस, फॉरवर्डर्स, कस्टम चार्जेस, इनलैंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का जो भी चार्जेस रहेगा, लोडिंग एट द ओरिजिन, वेयरहाउस सर्विसेज, एवरीथिंग विल बी borne by the seller, free alongside ship. Okay, जब तक जहाज तक नहीं आ जाता, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी किसका? सेलर का. अंडरस्टूड? सो इट इज फ्री फॉर. आफ्टर दैट, जैसे शिप रेल क्रॉस हो जाता है, वंस द कार्गो इज बीइंग लोडेड फ्रॉम द जेट्टी टू द शिप, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी शिफ्ट हो जाता है किसके पास? सी दिस, लोडिंग ऑन द वेसल किसका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है? बायर. फ्रेट कौन पे करेगा? बायर. इंश्योरेंस कौन करेगा? अगेन बायर. अनलोडिंग एंड लोडिंग जो भी रहेगा, that is again buyer. Transportation to the destination from load port. Okay, suppose मुंबई से सिंगापुर हम लोग कर रहे हैं ट्रांसपोर्ट, so from Mumbai to Singapore, transportation to the destination, responsible is buyer. Custom clearance, again buyer. Importer duties and taxes, buyer. Understood? So when you write answers, okay, you have to define these responsibilities. Huh? Okay,
सर ये ऑप्शन में, सेलर ऑप्शन में लोडिंग एट द ओरिजिन लिखा हुआ है और फिर बायर में भी लिखा है लोडिंग ऑन वेसल।
Loading at the
मतलब
origin is
meaning
what? That's what I'm telling you. See,
Factory.
at the load port.
Factory.
I am manufacturing my product into the factory, but obviously I need to have the warehouse or not to place all these things. Okay, so from the factory to the warehousing, तो वहां पे मैं लोड करूंगा या नहीं करूंगा? लोडिंग एट द ओरिजिन. सो ओरिजिन क्या हो गया? फैक्ट्री हो गया, जहां पे मेरा प्रोडक्ट दैट इज बीइंग मैन्युफैक्चर्ड, दैट इज माय ओरिजिन. Origin is not the vessel. Understood? So loading the cargo from the origin to anywhere, warehouse हो या फिर कहीं पे भी हो, कुछ भी हो, that is different. And loading on the vessel finally is different.
Forwarder and customs में.
Sorry?
But sir ये
Forwarder
अगर
and
कोई
customs.
One by one, please. One by one.
सर अगर सिंगापुर से कार्गो आ रहा है तो सिंगापुर में लोड करेगा तो वो तो सेलर लोड करेगा, बायर मतलब इंडिया का कोई वहां जाके लोड नहीं करेगा ना सर?
नहीं करेगा. क्यों करेगा? तो बिजनेस कैसा होगा अगर हर
फिर
टाइम बायर को जाना पड़ेगा? तो
फिर सर लोडिंग ऑन द वेसल तो सेलर के उसमें आना चाहिए ना सर?
No boss, who will pay? Buyer will pay. Understood? बायर जाके खुद थोड़ी ना कार्गो जहाज पे रखेगा.
हाँ, मतलब बायर लोडिंग का भी एक्सपेंस देगा और फिर यहाँ पे लिखा है लोडिंग एंड अनलोडिंग, मतलब अगर अनलोडिंग होगा तो फिर वो इंडिया में आके अनलोडिंग का भी
इंडिया में अनलोडिंग, और दैट विल बी आल्सो रिस्पांसिबिलिटी ऑफ अ बायर. These are the responsibility, gentlemen. I'm again telling you, physically buyer या फिर seller जाके कर नहीं रहे. The people are there for that, right? This is the responsibility. Who will pay for what?
Sir, can you
मींस
please
सर अगर सिंगापुर में लोडिंग है तो फिर वो लोडिंग की भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी बायर की है और फिर जब इंडिया में आके कार्गो डिस्चार्ज होगा तो वो भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बायर की है.
Exactly. Under this FAS term. Okay.
Sir, can you please explain this term FAS, sir? How is it related to this concept, this term FAS, free alongside ship?
Free alongside. I'll read out for you. This means that the seller delivers when the goods are placed alongside the vessel, that may be on the quay or the barge nominated by the buyer at the name port of the shipment. Okay. Buyer बोलता है, suppose, say for example, within India, suppose I want to ship my product. I have my manufacturing company, say located in Vasai, say for example. Okay, so Vasai is the place of origin. Understood? Now let's consider I have my godown to Dadar. So from origin to the Dadar, जो भी transportation होगा, the cost will be borne by whom?
Borne by the seller.
Yeah, I'm the seller. I will borne this cost to bring it to all these things. Okay. Next is from the warehouse. Warehouse दादर में आ गया product. Okay. अब मुंबई पोर्ट के charges है. There are certain
जेटी
charges.
तक जाएगा.
हाँ. There are certain charges by the Indira dock, जो मुंबई पोर्ट है. And there is a this thing also, JNPT port also, right? Okay. अभी loading on vessel किसका who is responsible? Buyer is responsible. जो कहीं पे सिंगापुर में बैठा हुआ है या फिर चाइना में बैठा हुआ है.
सर जेटी तक पहुंचानी ये बता रही है सेलर की है.
Yes, exactly. So till the jetty, okay, जितना भी responsibility रहेगा, that seller, I will borne this responsibility. Now buyer can say कि बॉस तुम्हारा ना ये इंदिरा डॉक जो मुंबई का चार्जेस है ना बहुत ज्यादा है, वहां पे मुझे नहीं चाहिए. Okay, there is a port which is nearby to the Mumbai under New Mumbai, that is our JNPT port. Okay, तो वहां का चार्जेस कम है, वहां का लोडिंग चार्जेस कम है एंड ऑल दोस थिंग. तो मुंबई में मत लेके जाओ इंदिरा डॉक में, यू टेक इट टू दी JNPT.
सर उसको सेलर को करके देना पड़ेगा, मतलब अगर 50 रुपए की
तो
जगह इसके 200 रुपए लग रहे हैं करके देना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, because buyer is paying ना boss, you are not, as a seller you are not paying. तो buyer वही पोर्ट देखेगा ना जहाँ पे उसका चार्जेस कम है, लोडिंग चार्जेस कम है, डिस्चार्जिंग चार्जेस कम है, फ्रेट कम है, ऑब्वियसली ना,
मेरा
he will look.
सेलर रिवोल्ट नहीं कर सकता कि पैसे मेरे ज्यादा लग रहे हैं तो मैं ऐसा क्यों करूं, मतलब अगर he
No,
cannot
no,
revolt.
no, 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 no. He cannot say that. He cannot say that. Buyer बोलेगा कि boss, under free alongside term, it is your responsibility. Understood?
When seller quotes price under various terms, he will include all these prices.
He will include definitely. अगर मेरा पैसा ज्यादा लग रहा है इंदिरा पोर्ट से नाहवा JNPT पहुंचाने तक, तो ऑब्वियसली मेरा थोड़ा सा चार्जेस ज्यादा है, तो जो भी रहेगा मैं बोलूंगा एज पर दैट आई विल कंट्रीब्यूट विद इन द कॉस्ट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट और व्हाटएवर, बट द टर्म्स आर.
Sir, these terms are decided earlier, or here it was decided that, but after that the buyer says no, please you deliver to point C, then this also happens.
Normally these terms are pre-decided, but with the flexibility of a business and between mutual understanding between the buyer and the seller, it may very well happen that कि चलो भाई इधर नहीं उधर ठीक है. That is mutual understanding. Okay.
Yeah, it often happens.
Yes.
Sir,
That is
please,
mutual understanding.
sir, please explain forwarder and customs.
Now let's concentrate on what we are looking at. Okay.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So the loading on vessel and the terminal charges, are they the same thing since terminal, because the cargo is being handled on the port, right? So wouldn't loading on vessel?
Terminal charges are different. See, if your vessel is coming for the repair, then also you are not loading there, you are not discharging there, but you are simply bringing the ship inside the port. So charges to lagega na. So that is what is the terminal charges. Terminal charges are different, and loading charges that are different. Loading or unloading charges. So you deploy a particular stevedoring company, usko aap paisa do, whatever it is. Terminal charges are fixed. They will take that charges. Now loading charges and discharging charges, that depends on you, which stevedoring company a buyer wants to hire. Okay.
Sir, terminal charges, there are two different charges. One is cargo related charges and another are port related charges.
Exactly.
Terminal charges are cargo related charges or port related, that is vessel related charges also.
Is it also related to security of the cargo? Security of the cargo?
Everything. Hey, gentlemen, let's not confuse. Somebody has got their mic on here. Please.
Sir, in simple ways, we can just assume for just our knowledge that until and unless the vessel is being loaded, the charges will be taken. Charges will be given by the seller, and after loading, every charges until it gets to the exporter's place, all the charges will be given by the seller. By the buyer. This we can make a brief thinking in our mind to just understand it, right?
Yes. So to conclude, what is FAS term? FAS means the entire responsibility from place of origin of the product till the time it is being brought alongside the ship. I am again repeating, alongside ship on the jetty. The entire responsibility will be of the seller, and then putting that cargo from the jetty, okay, to the vessel and bringing that vessel with her cargo to her destination port. The responsibility will be with the buyer. Okay, that's it. Remember this thing. Clear on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Moving ahead to the next term. So for the buyer, basically he has got the cargo till the jetty at free of cost, right? Till the jetty. That's why it is free alongside. Okay. Understood? Correct or not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Now see here. Now the term over here is changed. That is what? FOB, free on board. Can you see that?
Yeah.
पहले था free alongside ship था. अब free on board हो गया. So if you see, one more responsibility is added into the sailor, that is loading onto the vessel. Can you see that? So basically, from the place of origin till loading cargo on board vessel, that is the responsibility of a sailor, and after that till the cargo reaches to the buyer, the responsibility is of the buyer. Okay, so basically buyer को क्या हुआ, कार्गो फ्री ऑन बोर्ड मिल गया ना, ऑल द कॉस्ट जो भी था फ्रॉम ओरिजिन टू द शिप, that is borne by the sailor. Correct or not?
Sir, in this case, the loading on vessel is also being taken care of by seller. Can you please explain
Exactly.
this?
Exactly.
Yes, please.
See, under flee alongside term, this particular thing, okay, I am highlighting with these red marker. Okay, this thing, everything was by the sailor, right or not? Now under free on board, one more responsibility is added, that is loading the cargo on the vessel. Okay, so loading charges जो भी है, stevedoring charges, all those things, whatever it is, that will
Sir,
be.
okay,
Yeah.
sir, these terms are mentioned in the SOF, or when the disbursement accounts are calculated.
No,
how
under
will
SOF,
decide?
SOF nothing is mentioned. Statement of fact is since the time vessel gets alongside till the time she departs, that is called as a statement of fact, in which everything is mentioned. कौन सा कार्गो कितने बजे कौन से कार्गो होल्ड के अंदर लोड किया, that is all the statement. These terms are your sales contract, gentlemen. Understood? Who is responsible for what?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sir, the statement of facts, like I just have a confusion ki when the vessel is sailing, so the port, the port get the SOF signed from the master or the agent, whatever. So does that have only the details until the, suppose the vessel has done import activities in a particular port? So will it only have those details till the discharging part or the unberthing part? All those things will be also accounted, sir.
What you said, vessel has done
like
what?
Like I have worked on the IT department with the implementation of a TOS software in the paper of port. So there, what we are facing the SOF that is not being mandatorily followed in their IT suite. So what was happening is the SOF details, whatever they're filing, that was up to the discharge part only. So the unberthing, the pilotage recording, unberthing, and all those things. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are also needed to be accounted. The unberthing part also as per the rules.
See, I tell you, suppose at this is what is the time at present? Present time is 1238. Okay. Now let's consider my vessel is alongside, all made fast at 1238. So from 1238
okay
till the time I am departing, okay, all casted off and pilot away.
Okay.
Till pilot away, everything, whatever is happening in this particular port, whatever activity happening, whether it is a loading or discharging, whatever it is, everything. If there is a delay, if there is a rain, there is a bad weather, if the cargo work has been stopped, everything is mentioned under statement of fact. So basically, from vessel berthing till she departs and pilot away, everything is detailed under statement of fact.
How will we sorry, how will we decide is a case of FAS or FOB? How will we decide?
FAS and FOB are the sale contract term, gentlemen. Okay.
It is just written on the contract whether it should be FAS or FOB.
Yes.
And FOB is just because the loading part is totally free of cost. That's why the term is known as FOB.
Yes. So basically, yeah, it's a free for the buyer. Na? The cargo is being loaded at sailor's cost on the vessel. So it's a free for the buyer. That's why it's a free on board. Correct?
Sir, can you just explain the first point in front of buyer, the ocean air freight? How it can you just explain this first ocean air freight for buyer?
Hello, sir. Hello.
One by one.
First point, sir. How it is related to our concept? This ocean air freight for buyer.
Now what is a freight? What is a freight? That is the question. Freight is a remuneration, okay, which the ships get for carrying a cargo, right? Okay, let's consider if you are carrying a coal cargo, 50,000 metric tons of coal cargo. So the freight rate is decided by whom? A shipping company ना, जो ओनर है जहाज का वो डिसाइड करेगा उसको कितना फ्रेट चाहिए. Let's consider he says my freight rate is $10 per ton. तो $10 के हिसाब से for 50,000, okay, the freight is how much? $5 lakh. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is won by whom? Freight rate कौन देगा?
Buyer.
Ship owner को buyer देगा. Okay. So whatever Incoterms which we are looking at, these are your sell contract terms. So कल को जाके ये ना हो कि buyer बोलेगा there is a fight between seller and buyer कि नहीं तू इसका पैसा पे कर मैं नहीं करूंगा and all those things. So to avoid all those things, these terms are decided कि भाई FOB है, FAS है, whatever it is.
Sir, one thing more, sir.
Yeah.
Why in some contracts it is necessary to pay 90%?
That is different part. That is different part. Just don't get confused and don't bring anything else into this.
Okay, sir. Okay.
We are strictly looking into these Incoterms now.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Yes, please.
Sir, can we please clear the basic terms first? Because some of the students are fresher here and many questions are raised on every topic and they are very deeply explained and we are unable to get it. So first, can we clear the basic terms,
This
sir?
is basic term only.
But so, sorry to interrupt, but there are the questions raised are very high level. So I am basically personally unable to get.
Can you please tell me what exact explanation you want in this?
Actually, sir, what you are teaching is totally in the concept, right? But the questions which are being raised are sometimes out of concept and which cannot be recognized by the fresher. This is what I think Omkar is trying to say, and I was also trying to say the same.
Okay, now let's understand. Under LOC, first we saw the first thing which takes place is the sales contract, correct? Buyer and the seller, correct or not?
Yes.
Okay, so कल को जाके suppose if we want to trade, so all these things are decided कि भाई from point of origin जो कौन देगा, buyer पे करेगा या seller पे? नहीं, see it depends. Buyer seller तो बोल देगा भाई तुझे चाहिए कार्गो, so you deal with that. हाँ, तो buyer मैं जब है ना वो तुम्हारा जब शिप तक आ जाएगा ना, शिप के बाद वो मैं देख लूंगा फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ ओरिजिन. तेरा जिम्मेदारी तो बनता है ना, कुछ तो जिम्मेदारी बनता है. सम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज योर्स आल्सो, राइट? So basically under this sales contracts the responsibilities are decided, and to decide this responsibility ki who is responsible for what, these Incoterms are helping. Okay, contract, if you do not define anything, कल को जाके there is going to be definitely going to be a conflict. Correct or not?
सर जैसा कि आपने बताया कि वेयर हाउस सर्विसेज से लेके लोडिंग ऑन वेजल तक की जो चार्जेस रहता है वो सेलर पे करता है, ठीक है? और जो ओशियन एयर इस तक का जो भी फ्रेट चार्जेस है वो बायर पे करता है, ठीक है?
करेक्ट.
लेकिन सर आप मुझे ये बताओ कि ओवरऑल जब मार्जिन लेने की बात होती है तो ठीक है, सेलर को आपने बांट दिया कि सेलर यहाँ तक के चार्जेस पे करेगा, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली सर वो लास्ट जो प्राइस पे करना हो तो वो तो बायर को पे करना पड़ता है ना सर, ताकि ओवरऑल उसका एक अच्छा खासा प्रॉफिट
अभी क्या whatever responsibility is being there, अगर आप FOB term decide करते हो, अगर within a sales contract, let's consider your sales contract says that by this FOB term. Okay, तो FOB term का मतलब क्या? अभी इसके अंदर किसी को कुछ ज्यादा बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. It is very simple that under FOB term, from the warehouse or from the point of origin से लेके till the loading, all the responsibility जो है that will be borne by the seller, everything. Okay, तो वो कितना भी रहे. Understood? And from ocean freight से लेके till the time the cargo reaches to this buyer, whatever are the things are there, whether it is a freight, whether it's a insurance, whether it is a loading, unloading cost, transportation, then custom clearance, import duties and taxes, everything will be borne by the buyer. उसके अंदर कोई दोहरा ही नहीं है. Buyer ये नहीं बोल सकता कि I am facing loss. No boss. You have decided FOB term, then it will, whatever the things are going to happen, that will happen as per this term only. Understood?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. सर लेकिन मेरे क्वेश्चन का आंसर अभी तक नहीं आपने दिया.
Sir, I think the guys are confused because
मैंने आपसे सर ये पूछा था कि अल्टीमेट, ठीक है, आपने बताया कि वेयरहाउस सर्विस से लेके लोडिंग ऑन वेसल तक के चार्जेस सेलर पे कर रहा है, लेकिन सर आप बताओ कि जब कि ओवरऑल जब इनको प्रॉफिट मार्जिन निकालना रहता होगा ओवरऑल वेसल से, तो फिर अल्टीमेटली सारे प्राइसेस तो सर बायर एंड को ही पे करना पड़ता है ना, ताकि उसका मतलब ओवरऑल जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चार्जेस आए या फ्रेट चार्जेस आए उसमें जो उसने मान लिया सर 15% का मार्जिन रखा या 20% का मार्जिन रखा, तो अल्टीमेटली तो सारा पे, जब तक बायर सर ओवरऑल कॉस्टिंग के अलावा 20% मार्जिन नहीं पे करेगा, तो फिर शिप ओनर को सर मतलब इसका ओवरऑल बेनिफिट कैसे मिल पाएगा?
ओनर का क्या बेनिफिट है? ओनर तो उसका फ्रेट लेके चला जाएगा, शिप ओनर.
नहीं, मेरा ये कहना था कि मतलब आपने
whoever is buying the cargo. Sir, listen, you are confusing. Okay, you are totally confusing.
Seller will include the cost of all this and will quote to the buyer.
Definitely. कोई अपना जेब का नुकसान उठाएगा क्या? You tell me.
नहीं.
Definitely no. अगर यहाँ पे अगर कोई बोलता है कि सपोज सिंपल सी बात है, लेट्स कंसीडर तुम जहाँ पे लोकल जहाँ पे रह रहे हो, यू गो फॉर बाइंग दी पोटैटोज. ओके, और पोटैटो वाला बोलता है कि सब 40 रुपया किलो है. हाँ, एंड यू नो कि दादर की मंडी में जाओगे, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल, जहाँ पे होलसेल सब कुछ मिलता है, वहाँ पे 20 रुपए किलो का पोटैटो मिल रहा है तुम्हें. ओके, बट यू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग, if you want to go to the Dadar ka mandi, you have to burn your fuel also. So what is it cheaper for you, to buy the 40 kgs potato from your doorstep or to go to Dadar mandi?
Yes sir, obviously 40 rupees.
Obviously ये जो सारा कॉस्ट है,
तुम्हारे अकाउंट से नতুन बई,
ये जो सारा कॉस्ट है, that is been taken care already under these various things. Okay, nobody is paying from their own pocket, my friend. No one. ठीक है, कोई अपना नुकसान नहीं उठाएगा. Now in this case the buyer जो बैठा हुआ है वो ओशन फ्रेट जो पे कर रहा है ना, obviously he is paying this particular freight to the ship owner because कि जो कार्गो उसका है ना वो उतना वैल्यू करता है, जो whatever he will does with that cargo, he is definitely going to be in a profit. That's why he is paying the freight. You understand?
सर एक सिंपल एग्जांपल से, जैसे मान लीजिए सर लोडिंग ऑन वेसल तक का इसका खर्चा 40 रुपए है, तो सर 40 रुपए.
You are broken.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Hello sir.
40 रुपए है, दोनों को जोड़ के लेगा ना सर बाहर से.
सर नुकसान वही बात है ना, कोई अपना होने नहीं देगा, मतलब जो भी चीज आपस में
negotiation, that will be part of the initial
that
negotiation.
is that yes,
more than 11 incoterms which they can negotiate, which one they want to.
So if the buyer is not happy, he will not say, he will not go for FOB. He will say okay, I don't want to go with FOB, नहीं जाना है मुझे. He will look for another terms. You understand? अब वो देखेगा अपना कैलकुलेशन पूरा निकालेगा, हिसाब देखेगा कि हाँ
सर
हमें
ये
इतना
सब ये
Buyer
इनिशियल
will go X factory.
सर ये इनिशियल स्टेज पे
Yeah.
हो जाएगा या इनिशियल
Right,
स्टेज
sir.
पे हो
Buyer
जाएगा
will go X
Initial.
factory also.
इनिशियल सेल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज अ वेरी फर्स्ट स्टेप ना,
यस
सेल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज अ वेरी फर्स्ट स्टेप. सो ये इनिशियल स्टेप में डिसाइड होगा कि हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर व्हाट. ओके
ओके
सो ये जो टर्म्स है नॉर्मली जो फ्री ऑन बोर्ड टर्म्स है वो कहाँ पे कौन करता है, आई विल टेल यू. बिग ट्रेडर्स. ओके लेट्स आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. आई विल नेम Adani. Okay, he's a big trader, right? If you see, he has got a coal mines or the coal terminals. Okay, the cargo is loaded at the Australian port. Okay,
Yeah.
Adani ke liye.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, sir.
see, who is the buyer here? Adani, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because he is buying the coal cargo.
Okay.
So the cargo is loaded. Okay, तो कहाँ तक फ्री कहाँ तक मिल गया? जो भी एक्सपोर्टर वगैरह था उसने पूरा ओरिजिन से लेके माइनिंग से लेके उसने पे किया. नो, अदानी इज अ बायर माय फ्रेंड, डोंट कंफ्यूज.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, he is buying the coal cargo. Buying. Okay, so
Okay.
so ocean freight से लेके he got a free on board. Okay, so ocean freight से लेके जो भी पैसा है फ्रेट है वो दे दिया. मुंद्रा में normally मुंद्रा they discharge, so मुंद्रा में the cargo is being discharged. Now I'm telling goes for two purpose. Okay, where they are using this to generate a power source. या फिर second thing, steel industry. स्टील इंडस्ट्री के अंदर भी कोल यूज किया जाता है. सो
फर्नेस
या तो इतना ये जो बल्क कार्गो लाते हैं 50,000 1 लाख टन एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, तो ऑब्वियसली वो उतना फ्रेट पे कर पाते हैं बिकॉज दे आर गोइंग टू बी बेनिफिटेड इन द लॉन्ग टर्म. करेक्ट और नॉट?
Yeah.
So this is how it is. So these type of big traders, when they take a cargo in the bulk amount, 50,000 tons, 1 lakh tons, 2 lakh tons, VLOCs. Okay, normally these terms are governed by sometimes CIF and all those things. So we will come to that also. But
तो सर इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जो अडानी आपका बायर था उसने क्या किया, उसने ओवरऑल जितने भी कॉस्टिंग थे आपके मतलब फ्रॉम ओरिजिन टू डेस्टिनी जो पोर्ट तक आया वहां तक का सारा चार्जेस वो पे करेगा.
अरे नहीं भाई, ओरिजिन से लेके शिप तक का चार्जेस वो क्यों पे करेगा? ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कार्गो शिप हुआ, माइनिंग हुआ, इट हैज बीन प्लेस्ड ऑन बोर्ड फ्री ना. दैट इज द कॉस्ट
क्या
बॉट
पे
बाय द
करेगा और क्या पे नहीं करेगा, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द एग्रीमेंट.
This is what is the agreement we are looking at, na, sales contract. Why you are confusing these two things? I clearly said the cargo is loaded at free of cost in Australia. The responsibility was a seller. Buyer is sitting Adani in India. Okay, so freight से लेके from the freight till whatever unloading charges, अभी मुंद्रा में unloading होगा ना, लोड तो नहीं होगा ना कार्गो.
Yes.
ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, कस्टम क्लियरेंस, इंपोर्ट ड्यूटीज, टैक्सेस, ये सब कुछ अदानी पे कर रहा है एज अ बायर. ओके, ही इज पेइंग because in long term he is getting benefit. It is as simple as that.
Yes sir. One thing sir, here in the buyer section below it is unloading and loading too. Sir, loading too is referring to if there two laden leg. If it is a you can say unloading and then loading too, here means that two laden leg, two
suppose
it is transshipment. If it is
transshipment, exactly, ट्रांसशिपमेंट. अगर या फिर बोलता है कि दो पोर्ट में डिस्चार्ज करो. ओके, आई गॉट वन प्लांट इन गंगावरम, अनदर प्लांट आई गॉट इन मुंद्रा.
No sir, it is written unloading and loading too. Again loading, it is saying loading too, unloading and loading too.
Loading to see there are lot of things takes place. Okay, अभी let's consider एक तो ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गया, एक कार्गो होल्ड खाली कर दिया, 10,000 metric tons is being discharged at Gangavaram port. That hold is empty now. Okay, now this typical term जो है ना loading to, that is not involved in bulk trade. ये जो आपका लाइनर ट्रेड होता है ना, कंटेनर, You see over there, यहाँ पे कंटेनर लोड भी किए जाते हैं, अनलोड भी किए जाते हैं.
Okay.
There is no fix as okay, यहाँ पे जाओगे तो लोडिंग ही होगा, यहाँ पे जाओगे तो डिस्चार्जिंग है. That trade happens in a tanker and a bulk trade. Correct or not? Whereas if you see the container trade, single particular port में containers are getting loaded also and they are getting unloaded also. Okay, so ये loading two part है.
सर इसमें
We
मतलब
can also term it as like the unloading part, which is which is after the insurance. It can be like port तक आया, then वो unloading किया. अगर वहाँ से like it is coming to Bombay, and from Bombay it has to go inside the city. For that, for the road part, the unloading can be like on the port. Again, unloading
Again it can
again
be
the
loaded.
loading too can be in the vehicle, and again the further process.
Yeah, or the barges or the small barges. Suppose the ship can go to a particular draft, but after that in the river port or etc. big ship cannot go. So the transshipment we called it as. Somebody correctly said that.
Sir, is this thing can also be related to time charter, time chartering? This thing can be related to time charter?
Let's not confuse, my friend. Again, I am telling you,
Sir,
time charter, voyage charter, it's a different chartering concept. We are not looking into it. At present, we are looking into a sales contract regarding responsibilities between buyers and seller.
Sorry to say this, but we are almost getting confused because correctly understood to us. But the questions which are being raised by the many of the today, I have seen many of them are going out of the syllabus, which is going very vastly, and we are just confusing that whether it will come in exam, and this should be stopped. We have almost lost half of the lecture in concluding this, that this is right or not. Means we are just confused whether what is in the syllabus or what is not.
What you are talking, that is exactly beyond the syllabus, and you are confusing yourself. Suppose if I don't answer, you will say that I did not clarify your doubt.
So sir, but chartering,
You can just say, but you can just say that this is now, because many of them are on basic.
Yes, sir.
Now let's I will talk now. Okay, now I will talk. See, simple things. There is a sales contract between the buyer and the seller. Okay, and the responsibilities responsible for what, and so on. So to decide the responsibilities between the two parties, buyers and the seller, there is a Incoterms. Okay. Now at presently we are talking Incoterms, which is free on board, FOB. Simple thing is that free on board means from the point of origin of the product to the loading of the vessel, the cost will be borne by the seller, and from ocean freight se leke till the time it reaches to the buyer, the entire cost will be borne by the buyer. This is what is strictly limited to the syllabus. Nothing more, nothing less. Responsibilities are being clearly defined. You write this, that's it. Nothing more will be asked in the exam. Hiring the ship, at presently I am not talking about that. I am talking about the sales contract, okay, and the Incoterms. Clear? Moving ahead with the next.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
सर आपने जितना भी अभी पूरा समझाया वो बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से समझाया, बट सर एक इसको अगर आप सर न्यूमेरिकल टर्म्स में समझाते तो ज्यादा बेहतर होता। जैसे एक नंबर ले लेते आप कि हाँ इतना फी जो है वो हमारे सेलर ने पे किया और इतना फी हमारे बायर ने पे किया। उसके बाद सर हम उस पर मतलब एनालिसिस कर सकते थे कि हाँ ओवरऑल जो मार्जिन था ये ओनर को कितना मार्जिन आया। तो सर नंबर से ज्यादा
margin, we are going into commercials with this.
I am not going to get into all these numbers, boss. Okay, because I am not the buyer, actual buyer, nor I am the seller, nor I am the merchant. So I don't know about the numbers and all those figures. I am strictly limited to the responsibility, who is responsible for what, and that is in front of you. Okay, I cannot go beyond the topics over the syllabus. It is simple Incoterms. It is just that the responsibilities are being shown to you, and this is what you are limited for the syllabus.
Excuse me, sir. Forwarder and custom charges means cargo custom charges.
Now, I am not into the forwarding company. There are n numbers of NVOCCs, and there might be n number of document and n number of charges. I am not concerned for that. I am just concerned about who is responsible for what in this Incoterms. Okay.
But
we can have a talk for entire day, still it will not get over.
Sir,
so let's not do that. Okay, let's not do that.
But sir, अगर इसे practically समझना है तो फिर इसके लिए कैसे मतलब out of मतलब कैसे इसको समझ सकते?
See, practically I tell you what happens. It is not possible to discuss each and everything in 3 hours class. Okay, I am a sailor. You will ask me about stability. You will ask me about draft. You will ask me about density. Has it related to the syllabus? No. If a person is from the NVOCC or a freight forwarding or the custom house agent, he has got all his documents, different things with him. He will start talking about that. So you think that everything will be covered up here in 3 hours class?
Sir, will we be studying this in details? In detail, these things in other subject or classes, these things in detail will be studying the freight forwarding and this.
See, if you are a freight forwarder, then obviously, see, there is a chapter called as a multimodal transport. Okay, in which we'll discuss little bit about the freight forward and all those things. But why you are bringing it now? This is what is my question. Let's understand what is related to the topic, right? Without confusing others. Okay. So next Incoterm is CFR. Okay, cost and freight. Okay. Now, if you see the cost and freight, okay, definition is in front of you. I will not read out that. Okay. Hello, somebody, please, can you please put off your mic? Yeah, thank you. Now, if you see CFR, the responsibility is, you see, one more responsibility is added. Can you see the ocean freight? Cost and freight. So the freight here is being paid by the sailor. Okay.
Sir, one more point has been added.
Here, yeah, one more point is being added. FOB में कहाँ तक था? Till loading on the vessel. Okay.
But how can a seller pay for the freight when he is selling something? How can he pay? As you were earlier, you explained that freight is will be paid by the buyer. But in this case, this point has
again you are confusing yourself and others also. Again, I said it is a pre-decided term. You decide your cargo term on the basis of CFR, or you decide FOB, or you decide free alongside. जो तुम्हें convenient है ना, between your understanding between the buyer and the seller. It is not that everything should it has to be FOB or it has to be FAS. This is CFR. After that, you will see CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. You see how responsibilities are calculated.
How can seller pay the freight when he's selling something? Why will he pay when he's selling something?
You're talking about costing. Don't talk about costing.
For your information, that will be decided by the buyer and seller.
It's depend upon contract, bro. Don't interrupt.
भाई इंटरप्ट करने की बात नहीं है, बात ये हो रही है कि अगर कोई चीज कोई कुछ बेच रहा है.
Swapnil sir, your mic is on mute.
I have stopped all the mics because this was a very congestion in between the lecture. That's why I have muted all of you. Please be serious with your question, posting your questions. Okay, please don't make it complicated.
See, very simple thing. कल को जाके बोलोगे मैं फ्रेट क्यों दूं, फिर तुम बोलोगे मैं इंश्योरेंस क्यों दूं भाई, फिर वो सेल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का मतलब क्या हुआ? इफ यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग द इनकोटर्म्स, you understand, it is as simple as that. Why I should pay or why you should not pay, that is irrespective of the matter. Then you don't sign the contract for the CFR, you don't sign for the FAS, business karo hi mat tum. It is as simple as that. Got it? So now see over here, one more thing is added in CFR, that is your freight. So the seller is responsible from the point of origin to paying the freight, and the insurance से लेके जितना भी है till it reaches the cargo to the buyer, the responsibility is by the buyer. Okay, and in different these terms, whatever is the costing is there, that differs. Okay, moving ahead with the next.
सर ये सेलर और बायर ये जो पे कर रहे हैं वो एक दूसरे को पे कर रहे हैं, मतलब सेलर बायर को पे कर रहा है और बायर सेलर
अरे ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, बीच में टर्मिनल नहीं है, बीच में टर्मिनल नहीं है, बीच में स्टीवेडोरिंग कंपनी नहीं है, फॉरवर्डर नहीं है, कस्टम नहीं है, उनको भी पेमेंट करना है ना कि बिजनेस सिर्फ दोनों के बीच में है तो दो ही लोग करेंगे। तुम गाड़ी चलाते हो तो टैक्सी का भाड़ा देते हो या नहीं?
सर ये जो फ्रेट, ये सेलर जो फ्रेट पे कर रहा है ये ऑनर को कर रहा है ना सर?
नो बॉस, no, freight is paid to the carrier.
To the carrier, yes, that's what I am trying to say.
Carrier, the
Yes, to
shipping
the
line.
Buyer is somewhere different, buyer is someone else only. You understand? Let's consider example, मैं अगर buyer हूँ and there is a ship, तो freight जो है वो ship को मिलेगा and buyer जो है वो मैं हूँ. I will pay the insurance in this case, in cost CFR contract. I will pay the insurance of a cargo, I will pay for unloading, I will pay for the transportation from unloading से लेके जहां तक buyer का जो भी रहेगा तो मेरा responsibility है. You understand? You just stick with this two columns, huh? Folks, you just stick with these two columns. Who is responsible for what? Okay.
सर ये सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में मींस पहले से रिकॉर्ड कर लेंगे ना?
Yes, CFR means it is very clear. CFR means warehouse services से लेके ocean freight तक, everything will the responsibility with the seller.
Okay, मींस लाइक ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो पहले बनता है सेलर और बायर में, तो उसमें सब पहले से चार्जेस सारे रिकॉर्ड हो जाएंगे ना?
Yes, exactly.
Basically, these three were the contracts which we have learned. And in this has been मतलब ये एक ऐसा एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है कि ये तीन टाइप के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स है जिसमें किसको क्या पे करना है। शिप के जो ओनर है, शिप का जो ओनर है, जो ट्रैवलिंग फ्रेट जिसको देना है, उनमें से मैं इतना दूंगा, मैं इतना दूंगा, लाइक वी से इन सिंपल टर्म, मेरा मैं दूंगा, तेरा तू देगा, लाइक दैट टर्म, राइट? एंड दिस हैज बीन, मेरा मैं क्या दूंगा, ये दिस हैज बीन एक्सप्लेन इन सिंपल टर्म एंड दिस हैज बीन गिवन हियर. Right, sir?
Yes, the responsibilities are clearly defined. Who is responsible for paying what? Okay, that's it.
Sir, I have one question, sir. वो लास्ट वाले में जब था ना लोडिंग ऑन वेसल, तो सर वो सेलर पे क्यों कर रहा था कॉस्ट एंड फ्रेट में?
Because it was a contract.
Because it's a contract, man. Can you go against the contract?
Okay,
okay, sir. If you go against the contract, then the other party has got a right to sue you in the court.
Okay, it is only pre-decided by the parties.
Yes.
Okay.
From the beginning, I am talking this. It means you are not paying attention what I am speaking to.
No, sir. The last time I am confused only. But
now next Incoterm is your CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. Now, if you see over here, insurance is added over here. Can you see that? One more responsibility is added to the seller. And obviously, when the seller takes so much responsibility, तो वो उसके हिसाब से उसका remuneration लेगा भी. You understand? Okay. So that's a irrespective. Let's not think about that. You just you just stick to it कि who is responsible. So here from warehouse service point of origin से लेके insurance तक seller is responsible. Okay, and buyer is only responsible for unloading the cargo till it reaches to his house or whatever it is. Okay.
Okay.
So if you see, the responsibilities to the sellers are getting increased, right?
Yes.
Now let's move to the next cost. See, this is very important. Normally, most of the contract are within the CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. And this is a very famous question. CFR, CIF, that comes into your exams also. Okay. Next is X work. See over here, X work is what? X work means that the seller delivers when it places the goods at the disposal of the buyer at the seller premise or at the another name place. अब इसमें क्या बोलता है? Let's consider I am a seller, okay, and the buyer is in say Singapore. Okay, तो मैं बोलता हूँ I have produced my product, whatever जो भी है, उसके बाद जो भी करना है ना रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, लोडिंग एट द ओरिजिन में मेरे वेयर हाउस में रेडी रखा है. वेयर हाउस सर्विसेज ठीक है, फ्रॉम पॉइंट ऑफ ओरिजिन फैक्ट्री से लेके वेयर हाउस तक मैंने लाया. आफ्टर दैट यू लुक आफ्टर जितना भी चार्जेस है, वॉट एवर आर द चार्जेस आर देयर, यू लुक आफ्टर नाउ. सो एक्स वर्क इज दिस. इफ यू सी from loading at the origin till the time the product reaches to the buyer, all the responsibility is borne by the buyer. See, so this is X work. Okay, so this is a contract. Again, इनको terms का ये contract है, sales contract का part है. So, but you think that anyone will go for this? Very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
It
Very
depends on the requirement and the demand and supply basis.
Yeah, it depends between their understanding who wants what. Okay, next thing is FCA, free carrier. Okay, free carrier means what? If you see over here, seller is responsible for only two things. One is warehouse services and other is loading at the origin. ठीक है. So for example, मैंने वेयर हाउस तक लाया माल, वहां से लोड कर दिया ट्रक पे, और उसके बाद जो भी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन रहेगा ट्रक का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन टिल इट कम्स टू द जेटी, फॉरवर्डर, कस्टम्स, टर्मिनल चार्जेस, लोडिंग ऑन द वेसल, everything including insurance, freight, everything will be borne by the buyer.
Sir, here loading at the origin is coming after warehouse services. As you said earlier, loading at the origin might be from factory to warehouse, but it is coming here after warehouse loading at the origin.
Is it necessary that it should come after or before? You tell me. If I have the factory and warehouse at the same place, so my place of origin will be same, na? And the warehouse is also same.
Sir, the product.
Why you are confusing others? Please don't confuse others. See, it is as simple as that. Listen. Loading at the origin. Origin is what? Where the product is created. Okay. Now, whether I want to bring it to the warehouse, or if I want to transfer it or transport it to the jetty or the port, that is all. So that is a point of origin. That will be considered as a point of origin. Warehousing services is what? You store a cargo. Okay. So obviously, suppose you don't have your own warehouse, किसी और का warehouse है, and if you want to store, let's consider the generators, big generators which are big in size. You don't have your own warehouse. तो जिसका warehouse है, जहाँ पे तुम cargo रखोगे, उसको तो पैसा दोगे या नहीं? That is what is warehouse services. जरूरी नहीं है कि as a seller मेरा खुद का warehouse हो. You understand? Loading at the origin is loading from the factory to the warehouse services, or it can be from loading at the factory से लेके direct port तक.
That is it.
Okay. So don't create unnecessary question. You just understand the responsibilities. Okay. So FCA, only seller has got the two responsibilities, warehouse services and loading at the origin. Rest all the responsibilities from inland transportation se leke till the time it reaches to the buyer, all the things will be borne by the buyer. Okay. Moving ahead to the next term, CPT, carriage paid to. Normally this comes under your multimodal transport. Now here if you see, it's very clear, warehouse services se leke ocean freight tak, it is a seller responsibility. Basically seller will be paid by the buyer. Unloading and unloading depends between the buyer karega pay ya seller karega, so it is optional, that's why it is in red. Okay, transportation to the destination means after unloading. Okay, let's consider Singapore में मेरा कार्गो डिस्चार्ज हो गया, वहां से लेके seller, custom clearance and import duties and taxes that are paid by the buyers. So very limited responsibility with the buyer again in this carriage paid to. That's why it is a carriage paid to. Okay. Next is CIP, carriage and insurance paid to. Now if you see, what is added is insurance over here, correct or not? Earlier in that CPT term, insurance was not included. Here insurance is also included, that's why carriage and insurance paid to. Okay, so a buyer is left with only two responsibilities and another is optional again. Unloading se leke whatever transshipment and all those things that can be decided between buyer and seller, kaun kya karega. So this is optional, but this is strictly seller, custom clearance and import duties is with the buyer.
Sir, in exams we have to prepare this chart only, or we have to write these two paragraphs also?
You can write the paragraph, but if you draw this chart, that would be very easy and convenient for the examiner. Okay.
And if we draw chart only, sir, that will be sufficient?
It depends on how many marks. If it is for just for 2 marks, then you just write a small description with this chart, that's it. And if the same question is for 10 marks, 15 marks, gentlemen, you are grown up now. Depending upon the weightage of the question, you have to write it. Okay, I can ask the same question for the 20 marks as well, where you have to explain each and every responsibility there. Got it? Next is your DAT, that is delivered at terminal. Now if you see this delivered at terminal, from warehouse services, loading at the origin se leke, including insurance and unloading tak, ya fir transshipment tak. Loading to is your transshipment. All the responsibility and all the charges will be paid by the seller, whereas only 3 things which the buyer is responsible for, that is transportation to destination after discharging the cargo se leke import duties and custom clearance. So this is the buyer responsibility. Next is DDP, delivered duty paid. Now if you see this, agar sales contract mein ye rahega DDP, you see everything is seller is responsible for everything, right from loading at the origin, warehouse services se leke buyer ka cargo ghar pahunchane tak. You understand? Okay, so all the responsibilities are borne by the seller. Again, do you think that anyone will carry out contract like this DDP?
No, sir.
Very
Mostly
rarely.
no.
Very rarely.
Very rarely. Okay.
So this is X works, right?
X works, there was a responsibility of seller at the origin, you see, warehouse services.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you, sir.
And everything is DDP. Everything to seller is DDP.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
And see over here, this is a chart, and I believe you have this chart in your textbook as well. This particular chart, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you see this, and these are very important. Exams is concerned, they will ask you the full form and explanation on this. So X work, FCA, you can see this. So better you by heart this chart, or it is very easy to remember.
It is very easy if
very
we
easy to
recollect
remember.
the services and the responsibilities handled by each of the term.
Yes.
Only
yes.
need to differentiate between the terms.
Yeah. And don't get into the figures. कौन कितना पे करेगा, किसका क्या फायदा होगा, हमें क्या करना है? We are not looking for who is profit and who is at loss. We are strictly looking at what is Incoterms and who is responsible for what. Okay. So this is regarding Incoterms and letter of credit. Okay. Moving to the next topic now. 1 second, I'll stop sharing this.
Can I ask one thing?
Yes, please.
Sir, for online exams, how will we do this drawing work, chart preparing? How will we do that for online exams for DLP students?
Online exam, you need to see what is the type of. I don't think they will ask you to draw the chart. Maximum, it will be multiple choice type of question.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, I'm not aware about your online concept of the exam and all those things.
Students, whatever the queries regarding your exams and papers, please post question to admin or the secretary of the institute.
See, first of all, your NMIS website has got the past question papers. Okay, so I would personally recommend you to visit the NMIS website, download the question papers. Okay, past.
Sir, but are those are also for online exams for DLP students or for the physical appearing students in the college?
This is all debatable question, whether physically you will be able to appear for the exam or not.
Excuse me.
Since we have joined the DLP course, we will not be available for joining. So
you can put your question to admin. Write your email to admin@NMIS. You will get all your queries solved on that. Please post all these questions during the section, our lectures, and we are already exceeding the time.
Okay, sir. Sure.
We have a second year class also right now, so I would like you all to be.
How much time is left to us now?
Already we have extended the time. The time has already been at 1 p.m.
It's time's up.
Okay, it's okay. It's time's up now. So what I'll do?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
This bill of lading chapter, I will take during next session along with the.
Okay, sir.
Right? Okay, so today we discuss about we discuss first about survey and certification. We discuss about flag state. Just to revise, flag state is a overall governing body.
Fan, Baba मेरे की fan है, Baba कल कुछ नहीं, Baba का लगाओ तो.
Hello, please put your mic off. Okay, so we discussed about flag state, which is overall governing body. Then we saw the importance of the classification society. What is the role of classification society? We saw the port state control, the very basic function. Any ship coming into their port, okay, they will look for the safety of ship, safety of life, safety of environment. Okay. Next, we discuss about the importance and role of the classification society. Then we came to the letter of credit system. That is how the buying and selling takes place between the buyer and the seller. Okay. Then we saw the important chapter, that is Incoterms. Okay. and all these terms are designed by the international chambers of commerce. Okay, and these are predefined contract terms which is under the sales contract. Okay, we saw different Incoterms like free alongside FAS, FOB, free on board. We saw CFR, cost and freight. We saw CIF, cost, insurance and freight. Okay, who is responsible for what? We discussed that in extensive detail, which was not required at all. So this is what is the recap of today. So next session we will see the bill of lading, its importance. We'll see the shipping operations, what are the different types of trades, and so on. Okay. Chalo.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Let's call it off. And anyone has got an extra doubt, is GM, because what happens is that we go over on each subject, and everyone has got their expertise in different things. Like a person working in freight forwarding company, he has got a different concept and he has got a vast knowledge about it. As a sailor, if you ask me on the ship, I can tell you, entire day will finish, but our topic will not get finished as far as the draft restrictions and all those things are concerned. Okay, so what I would recommend is that from next class onwards, let's strictly stick to our syllabus so that the time is not wasted for other students. Yeah.
Sir, only one thing, we really appreciate your patience, sir. It was really, answering all the questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks folks. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye bye.
Bye bye, sir.